Welcome to Good Ads Matter Roundtable 2026. 2 years ago, Good Ads Matter released the very first roundtable in the history of Indian advertising. And now we are back with the same passion and restlessness to create something huge, something monumental. Back with the top 1% directors under one roof, here I am, joined by directors whose creative vision knows no bounds, who dare to tell meaningful stories in their unique flair, and who constantly remind us that advertising is not only an industry, it is the pursuit of excellence. We are all set to discuss, debate, and explore the Indian advertising landscape, the science and art behind this craft, and where it is headed and where it's going. From anecdotes, insights, and advice to laughter and banter, we leave nothing out of the way today. This year, these conversations are supported by Invideo, who are shaping how stories are made in an AI-enabled creative world. Now let's meet our esteemed company, shall we? All right, let's start. Vijay Sawant. Vijay Sawant is the co-founder and director of Hungry Films with over 2 decades in Indian advertising, an ex-Ogilvy London creative. He has directed award-winning work for brands like ICICI Lombard, Coca-Cola, Kia, and Unacademy, with multiple goals at the Good Ads Matter Awards 2025 and recognition at Cannes Lion, D&AD, and beyond. He has also designed the Good Ads Matter Awards trophy, bringing his creative legacy full circle. It's a damn good trophy, by the way. Thank you. Rahul Bharti. Rahul Bharti is the managing partner and director at Sun City Studios and has become one of Indian advertising's go-to directors for humor-led storytelling. He is behind iconic campaigns for brands like Shark Tank, Muthoot, Wildstone, Dr. Agarwal's, Firebolt, and Vadilal, featuring names such as Shah Rukh Khan, Sachin Tendulkar, and MS Dhoni. Rahul also served as a jury member at the Good Ads Matter Awards 2025 in film craft production design. Welcome, Rahul.
Thank you.
Sukriti Tyagi. Sukriti began directing commercials while studying at NID, earning early recognition with a Mo Film Gold at Goa Fest for her film for Pepsi. Known for her distinctive voice, she gravitates towards humor and unconventional formats. Her recent work for Walk Talk Chinese, Par Apne Style Se, went on to win multiple awards, including a Gold for Direction Humor at the Good Ads Matter Awards. Welcome, Sukriti. Vinil Mathew.
पहले ताली बजा सकते
Vinil Mathew is a co-founder and director of Breathless Films, widely known for emotionally resonant, human-led storytelling. He is behind some of India's most iconic campaigns, from Imperial Blues' Men Will Be Men to Times of India, Aman Ki Asha, alongside several films like Hasi To Fasi and Haseen Dilruba. Vinil also served as a jury member at the Good Ads Matter Awards 2025 for music and sound design. Welcome, Vinil.
Thank you.
You got 2 claps. Akanksha Seda, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay. Akanksha Seda is a director at Good Morning Films with over a decade of experience spanning advertising, digital content, and short films. A multi-hyphenate creative. You have to explain what hyphenate is.
I don't know
Okay,
myself.
a multi-hyphenate creative known for her stylized storytelling and meticulous craft. She has directed campaigns for brands like Meta, Google, HP, Amazon, Netflix, Flipkart, and has served as a jury member for film craft, animation, VFX, and the AI category at the Good Ads Matter Awards 2025. Welcome, Akanksha.
Thank you.
Amit Sharma. Needs no introduction, but yes. Amit Sharma is the co-founder and director at Chrome Pictures and is regarded as one of the standout filmmakers in Indian advertising. Mentored by the late Pradeep Sarkar, Amit's directorial work extends beyond advertising into feature films as well. He has directed the national award-winning Badhai Ho and the critically acclaimed Maidan, which won Best Asian Film at the 2024 Septimius Awards. Great recognition. In advertising, Amit is a 4-time Cannes Lion winner. His work for brands like Google, Dove, and Cadbury has also been recognized at global award shows, including D&AD, Spikes, London International Awards, and the Good Ads Matter. Welcome, Amit.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Afshan, Hussain, Shaikh. That's a mouthful. Afshan is the founder and director of Not bad films. One of her works for Rio, titled Khun, played a pivotal role in a landmark court case in the advertising industry concerning the depiction of blood in female sanitary product commercials. You have to tell us all about that. She is also the first female director to helm action-led commercials for Bajaj, directing films across their Pulsar and Freedom brands. Over the years, Afshan has collaborated with brands such as ITC Savlon, Coca-Cola, Bajaj, Allen Solly, and Titan. With not bad films, Afshan continues to push boundaries, scaling new heights with her distinctive visual style and deep-rooted love for storytelling. Welcome, Afshan. And the youngest and the cutest on this panel, he asked me to say it, is Indrasish Mukerjee. Indrasish is a Mumbai-based director at Footloose Films, known for a distinctive blend of retro charm, playful boldness, and music-led storytelling. Indrasish has directed standout films for brands like Zivame, Swiggy, Cleartrip, Netflix, Cadbury's, and McDonald's. Welcome, Indrasish. Wow. This is such an exciting panel. Also because there's so much that we're going to learn from each other. So let's really have fun with this. My first question for all of you is, how many of you have failed an exam, dropped out of school, got pulled up for disciplinary action, or generally fucked up in life?
Generally fucked up.
Everyone.
That's
Sukriti, how can you be a director? Vijay?
I don't think
How
I have.
can you? Actually, you're like the goody two shoes. You've never done anything.
Scared people.
Scared?
Yeah.
Acha.
Never done adventurous stuff.
Really?
Front bencher.
Apart from filmmaking. No front bencher.
like
not
you're
at
not
all.
even,
Not at all.
you're
You're
not
a
even
front
paid
bencher.
in a pool.
Not at all.
अच्छा कुछ तो किया होगा बोलना अभी this is that vulnerable space बता सकता है we won't judge you
I'll think about it.
अच्छा
Yes, I'll think about
Sukriti
it.
I don't think so. I think I've kind of walked the straight line a little bit.
really
Yeah, I think so.
is that why all your films are a little tedha
I think so. Yeah, I think it's that coming out. Yeah.
okay super leading in from there so what really makes a creative person creative like do you think that these sort of off things that one does in life is important to be a creative person do you have to be a little tedha do you have to be a little have something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I think insistence is very important, I think. If I'm insistent about something, I think that's a very important part that, okay, I want to make art not for brand only, entertainment. So what is the intention behind it will make a sense and then you're sticking to it and getting mad and people not liking you. So that's a big award that people are not liking you because you just want to execute what you really want to.
So insistence and persistence and
Yeah.
pushiness is a creative trait for you.
Yeah.
Rahul, you?
I think, I failed. I repeated a year in school, So I was always that guy who needed an outlet. And I almost felt like making films was one of those. That hunger that, okay, maybe in the real world, I'm not able to do what I'm supposed to. But maybe some of that stuff I could tell through my stories. So I thought it was just that hunger sort of helps me. Just
Hunger,
drives me.
rebellion.
Yeah.
Sukriti, for you?
Yeah, I think once I figured that this is what I wanted to do, I feel like something kind of shifted, like I fully kind of honed in on it. I think persistence is something like I'm quite relentless with chasing something when I really want to. So, and yeah, I think it's important.
So are you difficult?
With people,
Yeah. I mean,
I'm very honest.
Okay.
I think I kind of set my boundaries pretty early. I think I've learned over the years. I tell exactly what I think. I don't hold back.
Okay.
And I think that kind of helps sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. And
Yeah. Vinil, what makes a creative person creative?
So my hand was halfway there because
Because you passed all the exams.
I was a very good student, but I always failed.
Acha.
So it's the tragedy of my life. So despite
We are not your parents, Vinil. You can tell the truth.
I'm sharing the truth now. So I would put the effort, but always get like 60%, 70%. So
That's not fail.
Yeah, but it wasn't like and that's something which I'm dealing with in life right now. That maximum effort and that minimum impact is the problem. So I'm trying to change the ratio of that. But creativity, I don't know. I don't think there is any set rule that you have to be rebel or you have to be teda or whatever. I mean, I feel it's like if
for me, fundamentally, if you're a good observer and you have your take on things or what you observe, and then you have a knack of having some kind of craft where you can present it. I mean, there are different forms of art form, but yeah. So if you can do that, I think despite you can be a serious person, you can be a boring person, but your work can still be amazing.
Right.
So I don't think that correlation exists between your personality type and creativity.
Yeah, but observer is a good one to have for a
I
creative
think
person.
observation is very
Yeah.
important to be engaging with the environment, figuring out what is there. I think that's pretty much, I mean, I think that's the first thing which is required. And then if you have the ability to kind of have a point of view on it, what's your take on it? Because you can observe, but you can't translate that into something then.
Correct.
So I think those are the things, and I feel the cliche is that to associate creativity with certain kind of rebellious outlook, which needn't be the case. You could be a very straight-jacketed, boring person, but it's all inside there, and when it comes on paper, then, you know.
So basically a badmash.
It's inside versus outside. So.
Okay, Akanksha, you go.
All of this, plus a love for pain, a masochistic love for being okay with hurt, rejection, pain, suffering. I think we are, you have to be obsessive to a certain point. Obsessive not with perfection, but with a certain point, with a certain vision, with a certain idea. An obsession comes with a world of pain. And I think we all here have come to have a relationship with that deep pain, which I think you have to be okay with to continue to want to do this and, you know, be willing to suffer for it every single day, because shot 17, take 5 just clicked. And that's why you do what you do. A love of pain. Sorry, did that get too dark?
No, how
too
beautiful.
soon?
We all resonate with the pain, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But pain translating into
Yeah.
great works.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Why you'll wake up and do it over and over and over again.
But anger, some part of it is anger.
Of course. Screaming into pillows, meditating to no good. I think we love pain.
Wow, that's profound. We've gone right into the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Amit,
I think creativity is like my childhood. I did not understand this word creativity because I come from a government servants. My parents both were government servants. So once that idea came in my head कि मेरे को hero बनना है, I can be an actor. I think from there I started observing things in a different way, which is, I think observation is what makes us learn a lot of things, which, like small little example, like, you know, expressions are very, very important for all of us when we are shooting. So the best learning from is actually, you know, traveling airports. So I never go and sit in a lounge or anything. I just go and see people, what they're doing. And so you know, the relationship, understanding of relationship, I think that is what creativity I understood very late in my life. That, you know, I learned everything from my family because I lived in a joint family. So you learn so many things from there, which is politics, love, affection, and, you know, humor. बहुत सारे emotion जो वहाँ दिखते हैं हमको. I think that is what is.
right. How interesting.
Yeah.
Afshan, go.
Creativity, I mean, see, I think it didn't come naturally. I think like I was born in a family where they're all musicians and legends and things like that. And I've grown up over there because my parents passed away very early. And it was literally that one of my uncles took me and he sent me to Kunal Kapoor and like observing, that's what it is, like with family and things like that. It's all these people who kind of come together, who are kind of showing you this journey. So actually for me, it was not like emotions or nuances, it was music. Because, you know, you were like constantly sitting in like classical concerts and things like that. And you had to go for it, you know what I mean? So it is that one day that you just break and you start feeling and you start imagining and it just starts falling into place, you know? And you go through so many emotions, even from like, as you're young, you're growing up, there are so many journeys, and that's when emotions and everything sort of like kick in. And I think that's what creativity is all about. I think it's all the people
I think
around
feeling.
you, yeah, who are kind of like instilling all these things within you. It's not something like you're born with it, or like I got an opportunity to go to like a film school or like any of these sort of schools, you know. So it was on the job, and in these sort of manners, like as such an everyday journey to be able to like pick that up, you know. But yeah, so it's like small little things. So it was like music. It's like music that eventually brings out emotions for like all of us so naturally. And then you start thinking, and then you start feeling, and yeah, it's
Yeah, and once you
interesting.
tap on that magic, it's like a
Yeah.
reservoir, it doesn't end.
Yeah. And then that becomes your source for everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how
Yeah.
that can be that one thing that can like take you back also like in memory,
Yeah.
because it is connected to that, and that memory kind of brings into your film, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like in filmmaking, it's all what you kind of going through in life, and an everyday basis is what you sometimes start
Yeah.
bringing in your films, your characters, and how you kind of see
Yeah.
things, you know.
And you said imagination. You used the word imagination. I think that's
Yeah.
a very big part of what we do is
Yeah.
create worlds out of nothing.
Nothing.
You know?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Because you started with have we all gotten in trouble in school?
Yeah.
I joined Lintas in 2011 as a copywriter. And before that, any single institution that I was a part of, I've been thrown out of.
Oh,
From class 3, and then I joined another school, class 8, class 10, class 12, college first year, new college, somehow managed. And I joined Lintas. And I feel like my creative journey also would have started in Lintas. I would have written an odd poem before that, or a song before that. But I feel like when you manage to like, instead of like bouncing off walls, doing random nonsense, channel something, we all have it inside. I think half the people probably find it difficult to channel it or things like that. But because that became your job, I have somebody to report to, I have to go back with something. Now I'm trying not to get into a fight or like get smashed or do some nonsense. I found, okay, man, I can do this. Okay, wow, I came up with this. It felt good. And I have, over the years, now that was like some 15 years back, over the years, I've been able to put a word to it. I feel like Therav is where it stems from. I can't really answer what creativity is, but I do feel like Therav is where it stems from. If you manage to, even today, like if I have to write a script, sometimes I'm like, I've already doom scrolled for like 15 hours and I'm like, Lord, I was supposed to do this. But if I can just manage to sit quietly in one spot, after a point it just comes. It's not even like I'm doing some major stuff. It's just there
Yeah.
for you to take.
I already like you.
But that's a fun idea, right? The nature versus nurture conversation of creativity and where it comes from. Whether you're born in a gharana of musicians and legends versus not passing how many grades now, Indrasish? Not so cutest and baddest on the panel. But that's always fascinated me,
Yeah,
where
and-
it comes. Is it in your gene? Is it something you pick up
Correct.
along the way? Is it just this need? Is it meditative therav that finally brings you there? Or is it a conversation at an airport that got you there? Or versus I studied in film school, or my parents were filmmakers, or there's no answer, but I'm just saying.
But Therav probably also comes from being chanchal, you know.
Yeah.
It arrives at a time when you're ready for it. But I think
Yeah.
you have to kind of be also restless and seeking.
Yeah.
That is an important thing to have.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we'll ever be settled in
Yeah.
that sense. We always, like something
Yeah.
is churning inside you all the time.
Yeah.
So I can add to this, like that fear na. So because I'm from like a mill worker's son, ठीक है? Always that fear ना, अरे वो हम लोग को चाहिए, because basic economy, basic, अरे उतना तो कमाना पड़ेगा. And the greatness to my dad never like artist बनेगा ये, ठीक है? JJ में जाएगा. So the thing is that anybody would have said, अरे अच्छे marks मिले ये सब मत कर करके. He never said a word, and that's the biggest parenting he has done for me.
Right.
Now, importantly, that fear actually made me, that fear of, अच्छा अभी fail मत होना. But then when you get that, collect that fear, all that combustion, okay, you start protecting everything. अच्छा वो कल डीओपी कुछ ऐसे करेगा, बट नो, यू आर ऑलरेडी रेडी विद 10 थिंग्स इन योर माइंड, ऐसे नहीं ऐसे करेगा, वैसे नहीं वैसे करेगा. सो आई थिंक दैट फियर एक्चुअली हेल्प्स, and we always have this fear about something or the other, and actually that's a very good food for to protect things.
True.
And you will see sometimes you shoot something and people come and ask you, oh, how did you do that? So you go back in that thought ki yaar kaise kiya tha wo, yaar mujhe nahi pata how it happened. I don't know.
Right.
Like there's this commercial of Idea where Abhishek Bachchan खाट पे बैठ के और हम पैर ऐसे करके हिला रहे हैं. तो everybody started talking about that one shot of पैर ऐसे करके हिला रहे हैं. ऐसे मुझे नहीं पता, मैं अभिषेक को बोला तुम साइड में हो, मैं I'll perform, और मेरी आदत है पैर हिलाने की, and he picked it up. So I think that it just things sometimes happens also.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think also.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great set of things that we've heard. And I think the viewers who engage with this platform, and, I think it's important for them to also understand that as a creative person, there's so much exploration, there's so much, I mean, you're not sure of everything, but you are diving into a pool of who you are, and all of these dots connect eventually somewhere. But how did you meander into ad filmmaking? I heard in one of Amit's interviews that he didn't, I don't think he did his schooling at the end. He sort of walked out at some point. Is that it? And then
No. I'm a graduate.
Okay. Okay. So then I heard wrong. But you walked into Pradeep Sarkar's
Yes.
set as an actor first?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to tell us? And then the rest of you can jump in.
So I was in class 11. My father was always very worried कि ये क्या करेगा भाई. But one day, I don't know what happened, my mother called me from her office and she said, क्या कर रहा है? I said, I'm nothing. She's like, अच्छा listen, modeling करेगा? Modeling? और वो moment पे हुआ कि हाँ मैं करूँगा, I will do this. I think it started from there, and in Delhi there's no infrastructure or anything like, and also
Those
at that
days.
time कि there are production houses or no, I knew nobody, my parents knew nobody. So somehow I met Dada and I reached, as in I was taken as an actor, and over there I just saw his work. 2 घंटे में मेरा shoot खत्म हो गया. I traveled from Delhi 18 hours. I just went and told him, I said, because I was told कि now you are going back. So I went to him, I said, मुझे please यहाँ पे 2 दिन आप shooting कर रहे हैं, मेरे को रुकना है यहाँ पे. I want to stay. I want to see what this whole shoot is. मतलब shooting होती क्या है? So he looked at me, he's like, okay. So I stayed in their hotel on their expense for 2 days, and I just fell in love. I said, I want to work with you. So he said, कौन सी क्लास में तू? I said 11. He said, पढ़ाई तो खत्म कर रहा है. I said, वो मैं करूँगा. So I was in touch with him. I was 18. My result had not come, that 12th result, and I joined him. It was 8th of September, and I think from there, I just did not know anything. I did not know how to read storyboards. I told somebody in his office, I said, "ये कैसे?" So this woman told me that time दे सब सीख जाएगा. Okay, fine. So I think this is my.
But you asked.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't ask.
Yeah.
And they agreed. So,
Agreed. And I think that's when I went to his office and मैं cricket match खेल के आया था और मैं बहुत थका हुआ था. तो he made me sit in a room. He said, मैं आता हूँ. And for 3 hours, some meeting was going on, and I slept on the table. He woke me up like this. So he asked me, he said कि अच्छा ठीक है, मैंने नया production house शुरू किया. I will call you whenever the work is there. I said, when work is there, I'll be here. So I'll come from tomorrow. So I think I was very desperate to get in because I thought अगर मैं इनके साथ में रहूँगा तो मुझे acting करने को मिलती रहेगी. Direction का कहीं से कोई कीड़ा था ही नहीं. तो मैं गलती से director बन गया.
Big गलती but great advantage. अच्छी गलती. अच्छी गलती. Yes.
अच्छी गलती है.
Wow. Anyone else?
Actually, same. Galti se director.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, it was a moving target always in life. Kya banna hai? When I was little, my father was in the Air Force. But our house used to be the party center of that squadron because Dad used to record songs, make mixtapes, ABBA, Neil Diamond, George Harrison, all that was going on. And every week the party used to be at our house. Now we grew up listening to a rich sort of, lots of music we were listening, not just English, but Hindi stuff and stuff like that. But at that time I wanted to be an air hostess. Why? Very glamorous, and they earn 90,000 rupees a month. Mujhe to air hostess banna. That number I couldn't fathom when I was little. As we grew older, I studied English honors. Again, didn't realize shifting target. At that time, I wanted to do music because I was part of the Western Music Society at Lady Shri Ram College. I have conducted an 8-part choir thinking, ye hai mera life. Ab mujhe jana hai, I have to do music school abroad. But English honors, you're studying some of the best fiction in the world, right? You're reading stories and not realizing it. Cut to stumbled into television in a department called OAP, on-air promotions, where you're editor, producer, everything all in one. Still wasn't sure this is what I wanted to do. Long story short, I think life was preparing me to taste that blood, just waiting for that to happen with all that, music and all of those stories and all of those that was cooking somewhere in the background. And then one fine day, I was a producer at a TV channel and we had to direct a promo. And I said, I'll direct it. We'll just put one camera on top. No experience, nothing. I bought my own props out of money. I just went to a stationery, bought my own props, did lighting with phones and stuff like that. It was terrible. It was the worst thing I've ever done. But post that, it was there was just no looking back. So it was director by there was no kida of direction, much like that. But once, there was also this thing that I think, I'm a 90s kid. I loved the ad break. Yahi hai right choice, baby. I mean, that era of Hamara Bajaj, I've grown up with all of. I used to love the ad break. I used to never go off, suddenly go reheat dal or take a susu break at that point of time. I used to sit and watch. In between overs, I used to love that ad break. So the germ was there. It just took time to infect me.
Wow.
Can I tell a story about Akanksha that she probably doesn't know?
Yeah,
Oh,
please.
Jesus.
So when I was in the agency, right, very early, like first, second or third year, we used to get all the nonsense jobs that we had to do. No TVCs are happening. So when the award season comes about, you have to make these AVs. So we had a regular guy and he was caught up making every single AV for everybody at that point in time. So somebody came to me and said that there's this girl in Delhi, if I remember right. She doesn't remember this. She's nodding right now. But so said there's this girl who is in Delhi, and they gave me an immediate thing saying that she might be a little difficult to work with.
That hasn't left me, yet. I mean,
Yeah. So this is all I had heard. I had written a script and I had sent it across to her. I spoke to her. She seemed not at all difficult, but the job hadn't started yet. And she seemed like a really sweet person. And then she sent across that AV. I don't know if the film
Which
that
one
you're
are you
talking
talking
about.
about?
It was for Tanishq.
Tanishq.
And I don't know if the film that you're talking about happened later or before. But when she sent it across to me, I remember thinking distinct. I did want to become a director at some point. I was like, bro, iska AV tere film se behtar hai, bro. What a lovely fucking AV she's made. You don't really need to pull your socks up. So I remember that about her.
Wow.
And then at some point, she stopped doing AVs. I tried to send another one. Then they said she's quit the post.
Because I was doing them secretly. I had a day job. I used to make AVs at night on my laptop.
Yeah. And then at some point, a film released by, I'm forgetting the agency name, but it was some culture. Machine Culture, and she dropped this really amazing film. And, it made sense to me that that girl who had made this AV is the one who's dropped this film right now.
So then Indrasish wanted to grow up and become Akanksha.
Akanksha, absolutely. Absolutely.
Can I come and hug you?
That's a virtual hug across the table.
Yes.
Chalo, anyone else? What's your story, Rahul? Come on.
I mean, I didn't have any film background or anything like that. I did my MBA, got into a corporate job, did a year of that, but always at the back wanted to make films.
What corporate job?
I was like an operational manager. I had a desk job. I had to
Ouch.
sit, Excel sheet and all of that because I did my MBA and I got my placement, regular stuff. But
He must
of
be
course,
so good at his budgets, yeah.
I was
He
horrible.
must be making money.
No,
Plus,
my
he didn't
boss,
have to talk to anybody at that point. Sometimes
my
he
boss
misses.
figured this guy can't do anything, so just black coffee and smoke break. That's all I was allowed. And then I figured this is not a bad job to have. But one day it was like, this is not going anywhere. I want to do film, and this is what I want to sort of eventually go forward with. So I met a few
But
friends.
you knew then you wanted
I
to.
always knew at the back. I grew up in a house where, I mean, we had business family and all of that, but film was an integral part. Dinner table, it was always films. Like you discuss Raj Kapoor, like dad would think, things like that was always happening. So it was there, but, I didn't know how to go about it. MBA happened, right? So I was like, eventually, I think it was Vinil's Cadbury commercial that I saw.
Wow, Vinil.
It was, I think.
I wish I hadn't seen it. Only one less person on the table.
And, I knew someone who was working with him at that time. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This looks so real. As opposed to so many other ads that I was seeing around that time. So I'm like, okay, maybe not films right now. I'll do advertising. This is what it is for me. But then I also had a lot of friends who were like, okay, what's the way to do this? So you join as an AD, intern maybe, and then you climb your way up. I was like, okay, this is not something that I would like. And I'd heard some horror stories from some ADs about how sets are.
Right.
It can be really frightening and all of that. And I was not prepared for that. I said, no, forget all of that. I'll start a company and, I'll go straight to the client. And someone told me how agency works. They go to the client, pitch, write a script. I said, I'll write the script, whatever I can. And we would actually, me and my friend, we would go to town, look at all the tall buildings and say, okay, this building looks like it might be some big guys over there. Let's just go, meet some random dude and, ask them for work. And we kept doing that every day until one day, one marketing guy was like, what is this? Who are you? I said, we're here. We have a great idea. We had some random pitch for some AV, I think. He said, no, I don't want to do all of this, but I have a lot of Shadi ka footage. Can you make something out of it? Ye mera personal project hai. And that guy just, we did that for him. He was very happy. He passed on something else, AVs. And then I was like, okay, let me write commercials and skip this agency route altogether and see how that works. I was doing it at a, very basic cost, but showreel was something that I had to build. So I think that's how it started. And eventually, of course, you realize that you want to do bigger projects. So then agency, all of that, the regular route happened.
Wow,
But,
so you dived straight into the deep end.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. Wow, and how old were you?
I was 24 then, 25 actually, yeah, just around that.
So you were.
You're 27 now.
Yeah,
I'm
in
27.
2 years. Huh?
Just about to, yes.
How cool.
Amazing.
Vijay.
So
The advertising
I think advertising actually more than a direction, it's an advertising, and that actually brings a lot of understanding of advertising filmmaking. Because here people are doing features because it's a different. I think it's a different art.
Yeah.
And yes, some people can do both. So I think getting into advertising. So my art teacher told me so of course again coming from this little poor background. So art teacher told me, "अरे विजय तेरा आर्ट अच्छा है, तू जीजे विजय में जाना, जॉब लगेगी ना 3 साल में स्कूटर ले लेगा." That's quite a thing. But so I think advertising, storytelling, and along with all these film festivals, it was a very interesting journey. And when I was in London for 2-3 years, I wanted to try in direction. And there was one nice lady, she told me, don't try it here because this country has less opportunities. And that's when I came back. I started with Ogilvy and I did my first film in Ogilvy. And there were people who are trusted me. I don't know how come so much. My first film, I was shooting with Milo. The client is okay. Of course, budget wasn't there, but client was okay. Dharam, who is my partner now, he said, "अरे करते करो जो भी करना है करो." I don't know कहाँ से confidence आया था उनको. And Manoj Shetty halfway मैंने script लिखा था, वो पढ़ के बोल रहा है, "I think this is something halfway, because of course he can understand the end." And I said, "No, that's something which is happening to you. Of course, with a lot of background you have." And it just when I did my first film, somebody said, "Can you handle it? This is your first time doing a film in advertising, and you're using Milo." And the story is that the Milo came because there was no budget. Milo came at 5:30 in the morning, and till evening 5:30 they were setting it up. And the film happened in 2 hours. That's it. Because it was a setting up.
Yeah.
So I think that's a confidence which we get, like, okay, this is possible, this is meant for you.
Right. Some amount of daring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sukriti, how did you come into this?
I also studied English honors in Miranda House, but I was not particularly good at it. I think I was really bad at it, and I tried really hard to be good at it. But I think like it didn't really come easy. But I think I always wanted something to come easy, or to sort of chase somewhat being really good at something. And I think at some point, like, I mean, there were some experiments we used to do in the hostel, but I really got into like print ads for some reason, and I thought it was really clever.
Yeah.
I really started, like, I had a lot of love for advertising. Also growing up, like, I remember and now that I know that, I was watching a lot of Rajesh Krishnan stuff, and then when I was in college, some of Iype's stuff and all of that. So those, of course, had like a big influence on me. But I grew up in Alwar. I don't think there was MTV there at the time. So none of the cool stuff, like I was catching up a little bit. And somebody mentioned NID, and once I went there, I just knew. Like, I knew from the very first week that this is it. And then I kind of had blinders on. And there's a lot of like looking down upon advertising in like design schools or film schools. Like, I had an FTI faculty who was like, you are good, why do you want to sabun tel kyun bechna hai? But I don't think any of that kind of deterred me, and I really wanted to make an ad. And there was like, I think it was also like a good time because there was some intersection of digital ads were coming up, but also like, the rules weren't set and nobody, there was still that difference between TV ads and digital ads and all of that. And at the time, there was this international body called MoFilm. They would put up like live briefs with clients. So I was in the middle of a documentary workshop in NID. At the time, I didn't want to make documentaries. I just wanted to do an ad. So I sort of escaped that and shot something in Ahmedabad in one of the wadas. I borrowed a camera, all of that. And then I edited it, showed it to my classmates. It worked, it won, got me some money. And I met like, I went to Goa Fest. It was like a dream come true for me. Like, I was just like, these are the people I look at and now I'm around them.
Cool.
And then I think like, then I just kind of declared that I'm a director. Then I was just like, this is it. And this is who I am. And I will just continue to direct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, clearly there's no one way. I mean, you can enter this
Yeah.
through any different. I think that's the point really one is trying to make. That, there's no set path. And now more so than ever because, people have to just take a punt. If you believe you can do it, jump into it, try it. It may work, it may not. But that's the thing, to be fearless, yeah.
So fun fact, I have acted in one of Sukriti Tyagi's content films.
Really?
I made something for Culture Machine at
Yes.
the time and I met Akanksha
So
a long time
everything
ago.
she's just said about being a one-person shop is bang on because we came with a half-assed script. She took it, she just elevated it. She said, don't worry about lighting, we'll shoot it here, we'll do this, we'll do that. And at that time, she was the only one who had a work reel that actually, for the first time, we're looking at someone has recreated a Wes Anderson world so beautifully, and she was doing it because that was her style. There was something about it that was very Wes. Okay.
But thanks, Akanksha. That's very
No,
kind.
it was just too much fun being directed by her. Yeah, she was so good. But and then I saw her again after 9 years. But it was like just yesterday that we
It's
worked with each
really
other.
nice to see how,
Everything
we've
shapes
both.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think like kudos to digital, I mean, I'm a filmmaker because YouTube happened. There's no way otherwise. You would
Yeah.
take me years or I don't know. I
that.
wouldn't know. Like
Yeah.
at that time you have a DSLR, you can go make a film, edit it on your laptop. And
Yeah.
that really changed the
It
game, I think.
democratizes the process.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she spoke about FTI, so that's what I mean. 3 years in FTI, I was very like secretive about my inclination towards advertising.
No, but what did you go there to study? Specifically what?
So like, okay, so going back while growing up, I used to love advertising jingles actually. And those days were Doordarshan and private channels had come in and nobody in the family remotely for 10 relatives removed, nobody was in film, advertising, media, nothing. But I used to enjoy advertising and I used to follow it as a, just like hobby. And I would record jingles on tapes, audio tapes, and I would play it on my Walkman just to kind of listen to jingles. So I was just like crazy in that sort of interest towards advertising, but it was like not a obvious thing. I think when I was in 10th or 11th, I saw Roja for the first time. And so I wanted to be an economist. I was studying economics. I wanted to be an economist and nothing again towards film or anything. But I saw Roja for the first time and I was just blown. I loved the way it looked. And that's the first time I was kind of conscious about cinematography, how things looked and stuff. And that era, there were a lot of South Indian DOPs who were doing really revolutionary stuff. Yeah. There was P.C. Sriram, there was Santosh Sivan, and there was all these. So for me, they were gods. And I started reading up on them and I was like, this is such exciting stuff. And I wanted to be a cinematographer. And kind of started seeded in my head that this is something which I want to do, but still never took it seriously. So and like Amit said, I grew up in Delhi, nothing there, no opportunities to try out or whatever. So while I was in college, I was first year when I had a break, somehow I managed to come to Bombay. I stayed at the YMCA host dorm with 12 other people, and I got to work with Bharat Bala. Oh. Who at that time was a very, he was like a great filmmaker to learn under. And the whole idea was because Bala used to work with Santosh Sivan, I said maybe on something I might interact with Santosh Sivan and I will assist him. And I was just crazy about photography and cinematography and all that, the visual aspect of filmmaking and stuff. And so I worked in Bombay for 2 months. I had a great time. My parents were hoping that I would suffer and leave it. But, and then I came back to Delhi and where I was studying, I was also doing then. Bala said, okay, if you're in Delhi and if you're shooting, why don't you help us with production and casting? So I used to old style of production where street casting and stuff and odd jobs and stuff. It was good pocket money. It was paying whatever stuff on the side. And then when I told my parents that I might not be, I'll try and do economics, but I might want to pursue something in film. They said, okay, only way we're letting you do it is if you do it properly, go to a film school and study it. We don't want you just floating around like an assistant. And so then I went and checked on FTI and I asked some friends who were seniors and stuff. And then I figured out for cinematography, you need physics and maths in your 11th and 12th, which I didn't have. Physics and chemistry, I had maths, but no. So I said, but I need to get into film school. So what is the next available course? So they said, why don't you try editing? But editing needs a lot of patience and I'm very impatient. So I said, there's no way I'm going to do it. So the third choice was direction. And I just gave my entrance as a lark because I was straight coming out of college. I was too young. Those days, FTIs were much older when they were taken in. Like especially direction course were all like 30 and 35 and people have seen life and come. I was just a kid who just came into FTI. So, and then of course the whole world opened and I went into direction grudgingly. I was like, okay, I'll do my direction, but I'll sit in this camera class and learn how an HMI works and so on and so forth. But anyway, I got sucked in and I did my direction course. I went, became an exchange student to HFF Munich, which is another film school good film school in Germany. And I was there for a year. I made my short film. And luckily I got a break with Highlight, where Srila was looking for a first AD and I said, I can't be a first AD, but because the whole idea was to develop a pool of first ADs who would be first ADs for the rest of the life. I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to direct, but I'll come in as an assistant or whatever, but let me please, I begged and pleaded and said, okay, you can join as an intern or a flunky or whatever. And those days started in the casting department and whatever. So I wanted to assist Mahesh because he was one of my heroes, like Mahesh. And I didn't know so much about Prasoon at that point of time. So Srila said, Mahesh is not directing, so I'll put you under Prasoon. And I was like, no, I want Mahesh only. But Mahesh is not directing, so go with Prasoon. So then I went on a job and I was just like amazed at the way he was working. And everything I learned in film school, I said, that's all bullshit. This is how stuff happens on set. And I think I was there for 3 years with Prasoon. And then the time came where I was feeling the itch too. So I think Amit and I were around the same gender because I've seen him in USL studio standing with a tape at late at night, him and we all were standing in line. And those days, no mobile phones, pager se production hota tha. So that whole generation was, 1 year before, after. I think Bob also around the same time. So we were all trying. I was trying to. They started Pro much earlier. I was trying to direct. So the first job I was getting. as a director, my producer told me at that time, I don't want to take his name, he said, the problem is that you don't look like a director.
You had hair back then.
No, I had let go of that. So he said the problem is you don't look like a director, and those days were stalwarts. You know, you had directors coming with cowboy hats and confidence. You know, I didn't have confidence till this date. I'm underconfident. And he said the biggest problem is when you're saying action. You know, the set should feel the action. You know? And when you say cut, everybody should stop. And you're saying you got a squeaky cut. You know, you're saying cut. So he said, let's fix this problem. In the PPM, I'll talk. So you keep quiet. And on the set, we'll just get a good first AD who can say cut properly. You know? So that's how first few jobs started, where I was cut, you know, that's my first AD.
You know, this reminds me that I worked with Dada for 6 years, and then Alia, my partner, she was also working with Dada. Hemant, my partner, he's my childhood friend since class 2. So he was working with Sujit. After 6 years, we decided, okay, fine, we want to start Chrome. And we went to one production house. They said, okay, fine, we have too many in-house directors, so we'll make one production house for you. We'll open a production house for you. So I said, तो फिर हम अपना ही खोल लेते हैं. We were 24 years old at that time. We were 24 when we started Chrome. And that time, no, like, you know what Vinil said, with cowboy hats and, you know, all these names,
and big English
names.
had to be really good.
Exactly.
I was actually told that, I said, I can write good English and I can speak also, but I might not have, but you have to have that, you know, really the accent. Yeah. You have to be thankful.
He's right.
Piyush
like
had,
in PPM and all, they used to feel like better to talk in English.
So I think Piyush changed a lot, and it was a good time where a lot of rooted India, it worked to our advantage because we came from a completely lived-in whatever approach to, I mean, like, you know, we've seen life and we put that into our work, but English was a prerequisite, a certain accent in English.
In our case, it was from the south, it was like you have to know Hindi.
We were thrown out of a PPM. Like, we went to do the PPM, and that was happening in Chennai. 2 65, 68-year-old South Indian uncles, they enter the boardroom, and PPM is like, your showreel has been shown and you got the film, and the PPM is happening. And these uncles came and they saw us. So who's going to be directing? They saw our face and they said, they went out. Then agency head went out. Then creator went out. Then only 3 people are sitting over there. And then suddenly agency head comes and he says, guys, there's a problem. He's saying you guys look like a college students. So how will you make this film? This is a brand film happening. तो हमने बोला मौका तो दीजिए बात करने के लिए एक बार उनसे. So and then उसके बाद में हमने डिसाइड किया आलिया तो बढ़ा नहीं सकती थी, मैंने और हेमंत ने दाढ़ी बढ़ा ली. So yeah,
मेरे पास ऑप्शन था, दोनों जगह बढ़ा सकते. But it's exactly the same thing, like so many PPMs even till date, because people don't know how I look. So they've probably seen the reel, or agency sold me to the client, and then they, you know, Swadas fought for a budget. And when the client comes and sees me on the PPM, he's like, I paid money to this guy. And suddenly they're feeling very underconfident. And so many times I'm also sitting with the client and they're all waiting. So I ask, what are you waiting for? He's like, waiting for directors.
Cool.
So these things happen, yeah.
Should we, any more stories?
I mean, I have, but everybody's story sounds so passionate, like when they thought about FTI and all. I joined because Dad said, get out of the house. He was like, I've taken care of you long enough. He asked, what's your plan? I said, I've planned to just travel for 6 months and find myself. He said, out.
Who's funding the travel?
Yeah.
So I joined, and I mean, for me also, it's the agency first.
Yeah.
I joined under Ramsam. I must give a call out because he mentored the first 10, 12 years, like 8 years. But really, like, he just fixed it. Like, whatever was the sprain in the brain, he just fixed it at that point, I think.
How cool.
Yeah. And I had joined, and I had no, like some of us were saying, that no special love for advertising. I mean, why? It was just there. It was a blind spot. I joined that place, and I found that in the evenings, there's a man who comes and he takes everybody's order. And then in half an hour, he comes back with snacks and whatever booze you've ordered, and he puts it on the table and goes off. And I was like, fuck, this is a great place to work, man. I was like, just put whatever order. And so I started doing that. But what used to be a great culture, I mean, I can say it now, but Ramsam used to be at the thick of it, ordering the most alcohol as well. But it was only advertising discussion, only like print ads and oh, who did this and wow, that is a lovely touch. And then I'm like, man, what? Like so much is going into an ad. And then I'm like, first of all, I'm not able to come up with this. Like at some point in time, okay, ad hoga, but like now you're like, wow, there's a huge level to this. I remember seeing a print ad at that point in time, which was a Zippo print ad, which I mean, trying to write a headline that comes in 8 words because it has to go on the hoarding, and I'm unable to write a 8-word sentence that communicates everything. There was a picture of a Zippo, and it was open with the flame out, and it said November rain, 8 minutes 43 seconds, Zippo windproof lighters, because you know, you used to hold the lighter up. And I was like, bro, I need to learn how to be able to do this. And some love for that, the entire craft started around at that point. Yeah.
So cool.
But like I'll tell you something, like for me as a journey, when I got into advertising, started with Kunal Kapoor, and with him it was like you had to learn everything, like post-production, editing, everything. So it doesn't matter, girl, boy, whatever it is, you have to go to the studios, like whether it is like USL and all these studios, sit over there, work till 3 o'clock. My grandmother started hating him. You know, like she used to like, you know, like when I used to get back at 3, I was like, "Tu police ka kaam kar rahi hai kya? मतलब what is this job?"
चोर का काम कर रही है।
Actually, बोले कि तुम पुलिस का काम कर रहे हो कि तुम 3 बजे तक क्यों हो स्टूडियो में? Like what is this that you're creating? I feel like advertising just generally as an industry was very difficult for people to kind of understand because it was not movies. You know, so for them it was like, why are you putting in so much? You know, that was something so difficult for, I think still today also for a lot of people to fathom that why are you putting in so much? It's just an ad.
Yeah.
But nobody understands the passion behind it, you know.
Yeah, somebody asked me, तुम क्या करते हो? मैं ad बनाता हूँ, उसमें तुम क्या करते हो? मैं direct करता हूँ, उसमें direct करने का कोई है? वो तो शुरू होते ही खत्म हो जाता है। ऐसे हो गए।
कौन सा ad बनाया आपने?
उसका उल्टा बता सकता हूँ मैं. Once I was with some doctor and I was just getting out, and one lady, she got to know कि हम ऐड करते हैं, not even director, हाँ. तो वो बोल, a South Indian lady, very minimal words she said, आप 3 घंटे का पिक्चर 30 सेकंड में कैसे करते हैं? That is a really a good piece actually, which actually we try to work toward.
Correct.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question, which is, in this storytelling race, has advertising been left behind because other forms, long form, you know, has claimed that space in narrative storytelling? Do you think somewhere now where we are, does it feel like we've lost it? I'm not saying entirely, but to some extent, have we? Or are you reclaiming it? Because now from the work that you see, that all of your work that we've seen, clearly it doesn't feel like it. But I think the general sense is that storytelling in advertising now feels less or weaker, and other formats like long form features have gone miles ahead. Does it feel like that to anyone?
I think so. I think like I feel like, because like for me it's, I love advertising. It's not like I feel like advertising is a stepping stone for me to make a feature film. No.
Perfect.
I am here. I love this. I want to live here. I want to evolve here. It's a simple thing in that manner. So I've started in a place where, like, you know, like during those times when for a brand you would just make that one film. But right now, like for that one brand, in a year, 50 or 60 commercials are sort of being made. During that time, there was no duration, or like, you know, like those sort of things was not there. I feel like at this point, it's not just for like, for the director. I think like right from the top, it kind of needs to begin like with just the scripts and things that like a lot of hard work needs to kind of go over there. That's when it kind of trickles down to us as well, no? So
like out of the, maybe say you get 10 scripts in a month, let's assume, or 5, whatever. Are you really excited to do all 10?
No.
So do you guys believe that a good director can elevate an ordinary script?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how many times do you have to do it now?
So I think it's not about elevating. It's very important, because the kind of work I do, there is no written dialogue. It's kind of an experience, right? So it's very important that how the creative person is he know you well, is he trusting you, because some process you can't even see the end of it, like. So I think it's a teamwork, it's a great teamwork. So if like some of our work, like a lot of MP work, even the client is involved. If
And
he's
they
not,
can't see the end product.
and they can't see, but just trust me. But I think your question, yes, today is a bit of a funny time. Maybe because the new technology coming, people think ad to you ban jati hai. So there are people who on a reel they're making ads like for everything, like.
Yeah.
But I think the training which maybe with Piyush we got, like how to catch a beat in advertising, I think it's a big deal. So you can't say advertising is easy because it's 30 seconds and feature is difficult.
Yeah.
Both are difficult in its own way. But yes, the scripts which will come, you might have to put more in
Work.
to get into some place.
When was the last time you got a script that you were nervous about and didn't know you could deliver?
Each and every one of them.
Yeah, no, I'm saying from the script perspective. You look at a script and you say, oh my God, I hope I don't fuck it up. Like that
Like it's so
feeling.
good.
It's so good.
Yeah, so
Also all the time as well.
All the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All the
that's
time.
good then.
Google Reunion is one film which when I was I got the script from Sukesh and I read the script. I said, "This is beautiful. This is amazing."
Yeah, two countries will be let down if you don't do it well.
And I true. And I said no for that film.
You did?
I said I cannot make this film. So Sukesh asked me, "What's wrong with you?" I said, and I was working with Sukesh for the first time. I said, "The delivery date what you have, no, I'll not be able to match. And if I really make a shitty film out of this, you know, naam hi badnaam ho jayega. So I think rather say no or get me more time." So we got more time and we made that film. That film was supposed to release on the 14th of August at 11:59. They wanted to release on Google this thing. And I said, I can do it in September. And luckily, they waited.
Wow, that's rare. Yeah.
So yeah, and today I think it's filmmaking is a collaboration. So we are collaborating with our creatives.
Yeah.
If we are adding to, that's our job to add things, and they're also writing scripts because they want to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. No, but back to your initial point, has some magic left the storytelling in advertising? It's an evolving landscape. It's changing. So the economics of it, the pressures of not just our pressures, but even agency pressures are changing. The medium is evolving and changing so fast. The number of players are changing, attention spans are changing, durations are changing. And I think in that, I don't think we'll ever land at a place where we can finally say, okay, at least for this generation, we've cracked this format, or we've cracked a certain tone, or we've cracked an ad. We all wait during IPL to watch, what advertising is coming out this year. But every year we say it's disappointing again. There was nothing great or whatever. I don't think we are all a part of this, because I don't think it's fair to just sit back and say the good scripts are not coming in. There's pressures operating at that level as well.
Yeah.
And I think we have to keep fighting the good fight. I think what we were talking about this earlier, what may be changing for us directors is that 1 out of 10 scripts is going to be, bullseye, that's the one. I'm going to put everything in that. The rest are, maybe just running your kitchen or things that you just do because you have to do them. But that creative satisfaction as well
Right.
is few and far in between. And I think that's just a function of the time we're in and how the medium is changing.
Right. But how do you handle a situation where a script is something that you're not convinced about or you dislike, and the creative director wants only you to direct it? Like what then happens? Like how do you say no? How do you get out of it? Tell us.
I mean, I just say dates nahi hai, I'm traveling. I mean, you see, sometimes you're honest because, it depends. You have people that you've been working with regularly, so you can be pretty honest about it, that I may not do justice to this script, that whatever that you've written. You try your best, with your collaborators. I think you try your best. I have over the period learned the idea that some way to say no more often as opposed to just try take a lot. Too many projects. It kind of worked in my favor. So that's the learning I've had.
Yeah, that's a very important one because I think a lot of people struggle with saying no.
Yeah.
And I think saying no is important as well.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when I couldn't find a voice, it was because I was just taking in everything.
Right.
And I was kind of insecure. And the moment I let that go, I said, it's fine. I'm going to sit at home for 3 months, but I might wait for it. And that's the thing I would even discuss with my DAs. Let's say today they want to become directors. We often discuss that, but it's also hard.
Yeah,
you say no to, but how long?
Yeah.
So there is that catch-22 there, but I think somewhere you fight that battle, but eventually you get it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like, I feel like, if somebody really wants to work with you, I think, you have to sometimes respect them also because they are kind of believing in you so much, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. Then you really put your heart and soul in it because somebody, like how we talk about, there are so many players in the industry right now. It's beautiful that somebody is really believing in you and wants to invest in you. So you do it and you work with them and you make it happen. Even if it is however terrible the script is, you just you make it a beautiful experience.
You
That's
do
just,
get a little bit of a free hand though in situations like
Situations
this,
like this,
where it's like,
because,
okay, we really want to work with you.
yeah.
They listen to you suddenly a little bit more. Not a bad thing.
I agree with Afshan. So the thing is, what I've felt is that it's never so binary. There are two things. One is that very rare. I mean, it's one happens in couple of years that you get a perfect script and a perfect client and agency and it goes like a hot knife on a butter and everything goes well.
Right.
But that's incredibly rare. Mostly you get something you see a potential in and you have a team which allows you to do what you want to do with it. Sometimes you're saving it from the agency and saying, look, don't screw it up, it's great, and you need to kind of navigate that. But 80% of my time has gone in trying to get decent scripts to become an above average film.
Yeah.
And that's the most thankless and the most frustrating and the most unrewarding part of advertising because you do your bulk of work. Every film is not going to be a iconic film.
Super hit.
And there will be multiple reasons why you should be doing a film. I mean, I have my 3 buckets of why I would do a film. It needn't just be a good script. It could be also somebody wants to work, it's a friend, you enjoy the process, or somebody's putting faith in you. So like she said, you don't want to
So good script is one bucket, friend is the other. What's the third bucket?
Money.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're sitting at I am like to be a practicing professional. I don't see great heroism sitting at home and saying, okay, I'll wait for my chance. I mean, then you get onto the floor and you get what is there and you want to do something with it. And then if somebody's come to you, then okay, you'll bring your expertise or craft and try and make the best version of what is given to you. And I think most of our work is that, is trying to do the best version. You can't even put it out on your reel. You can't tell people, you can't submit it to Good Ads Matter. But you've done a lot of that work because the peers will judge you, but the clients want this. And somewhere at the end of the day, advertising is commercial art. You're also selling your product. Like for me, I grapple with that confusion a lot, where I know that if I take certain decisions with certain script, I can be extremely selfish and I can make a really cool film and I know it works with the peers, but I know the client has not come for that, he's not expecting that, and I know it might not even work with the audience.
Correct.
And then you just want to take a path where you say, okay, I'm here to do a job for them also, and I need to be fair to that as well. So I grapple with that a lot because increasingly what happens is that scripts come in certain tropes.
Right.
I mean, there are primarily 3-4 type of patterns of scripts which come to you. Either it's like a wacky film which is going to get a cool electronic track on it and some cool visuals and you're going to nail it, or you go to it's like Scandinavian/Thai standard, deadpan humor with some twist at the end, or it's pretentious, emotional kind of eyes quivering and that kind of, So there are those templates, and then people are happy if you kind of deliver on that, like how to give it, and you can put it together and give it.
True.
So then you're feeling like, do I just give what is required? Do I do something different with it? What is our own aesthetic? What are we bringing to it? So it's a lot of struggle, and most of the time goes in. Your bread and butter is going to be those films which are going to be like, the script is at 60%, and despite your effort you put in and you kill yourself doing it and doing everything right, it comes to about a 75%. You can't tell anybody about it, it just happens, it pays for your bills and you go on.
But then where do you align on stuff like things that don't align with your ideology? For example, I'm just saying, I know a lot of people who would say that I'm sure some of us on this table would have a problem with, say, promoting fairness and, or I'm just asking, I don't know.
Yeah, so I have very interesting point that with my kid, we don't initial years like till 6-7 years, we never used to give a biscuit, and that time I got a Good Day film, and it was a very simple, interesting film that now Good Day is in 5 rupees, and people are smiling. It's a very simple, clean film, and we enjoy doing it. And whole time I was feeling, अरे तू तेरे बच्चे को नहीं दे रहा, सब लोग को बांट रहा है तू. मतलब if you're doing a good film, people will buy it, and then one of my teacher, she told me a very interesting thing. She said like biscuit बेचने में problem नहीं है, ठीक है, but वो essential है क्या? So she narrated a very interesting incident in 26 July rain. She said 2 ladies stuck on a bus stop for a whole night and she had a Parle-G ka packet. So she said like, now tell me why, if Parle-G has a sugar or something, how you can say it's bad. So he said like, it's always a consumer also who is responsible.
Yeah.
But definitely like Pan Parag I will not think of, or we never did ads for, which is like directly harm. But these borderline things like a Coke or a biscuit, yeah, it's a thing.
I mean, yeah, sure.
So for me, the script has potential to be made in a way which you will, like what Vinil said, ki what we are making, at least we are making, I make films for my own self. I've told my clients also that I'm not making it for you guys, because I want to show it to people. And if I want to show it to people, that means I've done just some justice to the script, and I expect that from the script also. So if I'm doing a Dove, where Dove is talking about what women go through, I'll again make that film. It won a silver in Cannes. People are appreciating that kind of that. So script has to excite me.
Right.
I don't have those kind of things.
So in a script, if something doesn't align with your ideology, you might say no.
Yeah. Then I won't do it.
Then you won't do it.
You know, sometimes you can almost like be working on an absolutely amazing brand, or you can be working on anything. But sometimes, you know, like, because I've started like maybe a year back, and like the battles are like completely different. It's like sometimes like the kind of people that you're collaborating with, it's maybe not the brand, it's maybe not the script, but it's sometimes like the people who you are collaborating, they can scar you. You know, like just generally also that also one can really kind of go through to really kill your morale. You know, sometimes like that is also like a 1% sort of situation. So it doesn't even matter even if you're like the youngest of director, or even if you've worked hard enough to reach a place, there can be like some people even on the most amazing brand come and just like kill you, you know. So it's a very tricky.
Kill your spirit.
Also the
Yeah, like just because the industry has become so tricky right
also
now.
because there's so much content there,
Yeah,
and the
because they
problem
think
is you're
it's
fighting
okay.
for attention. There's an attention
Absolutely,
problem.
deficit.
So you have to do something just like a clickbait on your ads. So everybody's not shouting out loud how wacky or how crazy can I be so that somebody clicks and watches my piece of. So because there is not just advertising, reels, everything is doing. You know, it's just kind of trying to catch everybody's attention. So your wiggle room for doing something new is much lesser. Second issue with advertising, I feel, has been always is that there is no real test of whether an ad has worked or not.
Right.
It is a perception game. You know.
Oh, there are metrics on it, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you really not. Like when you do a film, a mainstream film, for instance, which is why I'm just bringing it up because Indrasish, you brought it up, but is that it goes out there, people buy tickets, and you have numbers to say, okay, this is liked by people. People engaged with it, they liked it. Here, it's a perception game.
That's right.
Here, you don't know. You could have made a cool ad, but nobody even cared.
Exactly.
Like, what was this ad? Half the population doesn't even understand what you made. The product, they don't even remember the product.
Right.
Now, there's a job at hand. So you made a cool film and you got your awards, but has the ad done the job? We don't know.
Exactly.
But the ecosystem has got rewarded for it. Like the brand managers got his award, this guy's got the award, but you've not done the job which was asked out of you. So I feel that advertising also works in a bubble where we're just clapping ourselves. There's a perception wave. There's a flavor of the season. There is a style of the season, and then if you do that, you just get in and then you get forgotten and people move on. You know?
But I'll just add to that two things. Yes, the bubble exists, but what has changed in a big way is a hyper targeting of our audience now. So if a museum of boobs is never going to be appreciated by a million people. It will reach the exact number of people that will appreciate it and who will like it. That's something that has changed drastically over the past 5 years. So one ad is not being watched by 100, they're being watched by a 5, and by design those 5 are watching it. So efficacy of something now is even, I'm guessing, harder and harder to.
Yeah.
But to something that Vinil said, which is spot on, right? We are not, advertising used to inform pop culture earlier, and now advertising is being informed by pop culture.
Yeah, now sometimes you're shooting reels on a good camera.
Exactly.
Like the format,
Exactly.
the script is the same. You're essentially just trying to make it better. And in making it better, you lose the joy of the reel also. So you're just nowhere.
Advertising was the zeitgeist, now we are chasing the zeitgeist. A lot of that is because now on the palm of your hand, you have a million options of content to go through, and advertising is but one of them. And I think like a mix of, I'm partly agreeing with you, Indrasish, and I'm definitely agreeing with Vinil, but I do see the point of making those hyper individualized,
Hyper-local.
commercials
yeah.
that may make sense to a certain kind of audience because there is an audience for it. We are not sitting in front of ZTV and watching ads anymore, right? It's not a captive audience. It's not linear television anymore. Everything is non-linear now. So I just feel it's a mix of both, and perhaps a
Like, you know, there was this time when we used to make, there's a celebrity in the film. So 8 hours. You shoot one film in 8 hours. Nowadays, you get
12 films in 8 hours.
exactly like 3 films in 8 hours.
Yeah.
And in that, even the celebrity they have to work. So you're not even letting them go to the vanity van and okay fine. So and in वो करने की वजह से they have to write the script according to that should finish in 8 hours.
So everything gets diluted.
Everything's
Yeah.
But this is the attention economy now. At the end of the day, first 5 seconds wins the race.
And you think celebrities do that for brands?
100%.
But then they do so many brands. So how do you think a regular guy will remember a brand because of celebrities? And I'm just asking.
They may not remember, but they'll stop and watch it for 6 or 7 seconds because XYZ is on it, so maybe it deserves a little
Even if it's a
extra.
really shitty script or a shitty film.
You think an audience cares about a script as much as we do? I'm sorry, it may sound very cynical.
Are they
but-
likely not to be confused what brand it is? Because there's
I too definitely think that's the case. I mean, especially like some of them, we don't want to take names, we don't want to, but like there's an Indian cricket captain who's doing like 43 different brands in a year.
there can only be one Indian cricket
Hey, there
captain.
are some
You just said it.
yeah, but like he's doing 43. So I mean, how do I myself may not know at some point in time. I might be shooting him a couple of those commercials. I don't know which one he's done, which one he's not. I do feel like a celebrity brings credibility to a brand, especially a new brand. Ki chalo, it's not like a run-of-the-mill thing that's like come and gone. I definitely think that can happen, but like to make it stand out or like I don't know.
they're getting paid.
Yeah.
So there are very few actors who I know. They look for the script. Oh, is it? They'll tell you go back, write the script again and come back because I don't want to work in a shitty script.
Yeah.
So there are still those celebrities, very few of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a lot of them they don't care. They are getting their paycheck.
I have 8 hours.
8
do whatever
hours,
you want
do
with
what
me.
you want to and move on.
Yeah. What's your experience? You work a lot with
I
celebrities.
mean, pretty much, right? Like most of the celebrities wouldn't care. More often, they would have a lot of point of views on script, and now you're all prepped on the day of shoot. Suddenly, this guy's like, I don't want to do this. And you have a film in your head, you have everything that you planned and edit and everything. So it can be hard, but then you also have, like, I worked with Shaikh and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
That's a common story.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
he is someone, I was like, okay, I was a little afraid of, sir, aap waiter ban ke aoge. And he's like, make it bad, make it worse, like, do something with my costume. So, I mean, it's great, but at the same time, you also have some tough ones. But I think you need to know how to work around that. That will happen, but how can you spontaneously on the day of shoot fix that? Work with the creator, work with the writer.
So suppose they come back and say, I don't want to do it. Is it your job as a director to then salvage or save the script?
It is, I think it's a collective effort. A lot of times creators will be like, oh, I can't do this, because they listen to the director. Somehow there is this perception that if a director comes, and I think I get it why, because, they want to look at you as the captain of the ship and you are the one who's going to dictate, right? But it's not necessary that it'll happen all the time, it'll work all the time. But I've figured one way, especially because off late I've been working a lot with celebs, that you need to sort of make them the hero in some way. Some way you have to get them excited. If you can't do that, they are not going to be in it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what if the script is really terrible? How do you?
He doesn't do
how
it.
do you do it?
Yeah.
He says he's busy.
He says
I
no
think
to
I've
them.
said it too staunchly.
Just say it more often.
No, I mean, see, they know it in the beginning only. Like, for example, Ranveer, right? He really likes to get into the script. I mean, if you worked with...
Yeah.
He wants to, he's thought about it. Has a certain character in his head. And no matter how bad it is in terms of the script also, there is something I really like that he'll be excited to do that.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of them are and a lot of them don't care.
Yeah, a lot of them just come bored.
Can I tell a story about a celebrity I had a lovely experience working with? Was Rajkumar Rao, and like how everything is set up for him. So like, chalo, we'll finish off the opposite axis. We'll send it for print. So I started shooting the opposite axis, and that actor was struggling a little bit. And at some point, he's finished his print and he's coming down, and he's like, "Arey, aap logon ne chalu kar diya?" So we were like, "Yeah, we're just doing the opposite axis." He said, "No, I want to be standing and I'll be the shoulder." So that's how that day started. He came in as the shoulder. That guy finished giving his take in that, the moment he was feeding off of him. That got done. I had asked them, he had to do one voiceover line. I had asked them to keep it ready so that he can remember it and come. They changed the line once he reached. And he said, just give me 2 minutes. Arey, theatre kiya hai yaar. And he did that in one go. And then it started raining and I had to shoot the second film outside because shooting 2 films. So outside, and he's waiting in the vanity. And while I'm there, he had to be a mugger. He has to go and mug somebody. And I had given him whatever brief. And then when I was sitting and smoking, I just realized that, in his movies, he stammers and stutters all the time. So I went and told him, is it okay if I change the brief a little bit? And he's looking at me like, bro, to soch ke rakha hai sab kuch. So I said, I just found that you stammer and stutter so nicely, na? Can you be a first-time mugger? And he came and he did 2 takes and people clapped for him and it was done. Like, I cannot think of a day that started out with like so much like, oh my God, where is it going to go? And ended with people leaving after a rain break before time, thanks to just one person. So they can actually really lift up a thing if they need to. And
Yeah, especially with actors, I think. I'm sure with Make My Trip, you have the same experience, right?
Yeah. Like in the Make My Trip film, there was no way we could have finished, and we finished before time. So, but I shot Alia even before Ranveer came on set. I had done many years back in a different environment with Vidya and Vidya Balan and Madhavan. I mean, they are the dream couple to work with, and we did like over 4-5 years a series of ads where they're playing a couple. And what had happened is with Vidya is that she's from Pradeep Sir Dada's school, where she says, keep trying, and sometimes the 20th or 30th take, I'll warm up and I'll get warmed up and I'll come there. And Maddie is like, boss, not more than 2 takes. So the first time we shot a film, we knew it was a disaster because I know she could do more. Not that she was bad, but I know there's so much left in her, and he's kind of finished by the 3rd take. So the next day I said, Maddie, you come in the morning, 9 to 2, and Vidya, you come from 2 to 6. So we just we did a split camera or whatever, but I shot them separately. And with Vidya, I can say, okay, come on, let's try this. And Maddie is done. And they're both good. So I go with the actors, and it helped me in my feature as well, because I've had actors who have, the typical dining table situations where you have, like in Cadbury only, where, you had a dining table situation where there are different kinds of actors. One is a professional actor, one is a non-actor, one is a model, one is something else, different age groups, different confidence levels, and they're all sitting. Now, you can't imagine that they will all work in the same, and it's a paint shooting dining table sequence because you're shooting one master and then you're going close up and everybody else is giving lines and they're waiting. So the more the number of people, you're getting impatient, and all that stuff comes to you. So, but then you have to go with what the actor can give and what he's capable of, and make sure that this guy is not getting affected by that guy's process,
Right. So you have to optimize for that.
Yeah.
situation.
So you have to feel the actors and see, it's whether it's celebrity or a kid or whatever, you feel what is this guy going to come out with, what is the best way to we would have script writing sessions with Amir. He would call you 2 days before to his house and go through the script, and so many actors have done that. We've done that before, but now it's impossible. I can't even think of a scenario where
I'll tell you one story, which is I was shooting with Amir. This parlay oven baked chips. So we went to present the script to him with the client, and he reads the script. अरे यार ये तो healthy product है. तो बोला यार मैं थोड़ा मोटा हो गया हूँ. तो आई एम लुकिंग एट हिम. इसको एक काम करते हैं, 1 महीने बाद शूट करते हैं. So everybody is looking at him. So client is also sitting.
Given him input.
Client is also sitting on. He's sitting on the release of the product is getting launched in the market. He says, we'll shoot after 1 month. So I'm looking towards the client. Bhai, baat karo. So Amit gets up. He calls me in his washroom. He says, see, double chin ho gaya. 1 महीने के बाद मैं 7 किलो weight down कर दूंगा. Let's shoot. तो I said, sir, okay, fine. But 7 किलो का number कहाँ से आ रहा है आपके पास में? That 7 kgs you will drop 7 kgs. He said, I'm doing this diet. जिससे 5 kg will go down and 2 kg will go down because of I'll be exercising. We shot with him after 1 month. He was actually 7 kgs down.
Wow.
And we shot the whole commercial.
And it made a difference.
It made a difference because the double chin had gone, his cheeks had gone inside. So he said, this is the right thing to do for the product because you're showing me.
वो diet है क्या आपके पास?
It's called, he told me that time MG diet.
है? अच्छा ठीक है.
It's called MG diet. So yeah, so it's...
We're covering a lot of topics today.
So yeah, so it's at the same time like Ranveer, I was shooting on Make My Trip commercial only, and suddenly client comes in and says he needs to go. I said my 3 shots are left. So he says no, he needs to go because otherwise after more half an hour I have to pay this much. So then agency comes and says no, listen, let him go. So I said the film is not complete. So suddenly Ranveer comes, and I don't know the backstory. He comes, he puts his shoulder on my shoulder, my heart. He said, sir, you have 3 shots, you have 10 shots. You shoot the whole thing. I'm here. Don't worry about it. Before, in the background, what he has done, his manager has gone and told him that you can't because otherwise I will charge them. He said, I know director has 3 more shots. And how can I go without completing the film? So वैसा भी होता है.
Yeah.
So
I think actors per se, more than that, it's their managers who sit behind, there and then like, how many more shots? How many more shots? Why do you need this take? You're answering some.
And also they know what you're shooting. If they know whether they're enjoying or not. If they're enjoying, they will give more time for sure. If they know on set in the first shot, they know where the film is going.
Correct.
And then they are
इसको
disinterested.
अपना काम पता है.
Or they know the script is bad, so they'll okay fine, just do it, finish it off, khatam kar do.
Yeah, true. So the one thing that I am curious to find out is in this whole process as a director, collaborators are a big part of who we are, right? I mean, you're never alone in the sense that you always have, you are as strong as your team at the end of the day. Who you value most, because sometimes it's almost like a marriage. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to make your Oscar speech here. And who would you thank and in what order? Go, Vinil.
Oh. So since it's marriage, my wife first because
Because you have to go back home tonight.
no, not that. I know because she's of course she edits all my ads, but also she's like my favorite bouncing board. A lot of the stuff because she shares the same worldview as me, and we same sense of humor and way of looking at life. And my approach is always to get my lived-in experience onto the film. That's how I can create some differentiation, not reference it, but take it from life. So both of us have that shared experience, so it's easy to bounce with her. So a lot of the stuff which films which are done well, or the Cadbury khane mein kya hai, and it's Loki, actually came from my wife. Wow. Because script was like something very different, and we were discussing. So she's like, so when I spend the first day grappling with the film, and then I have my ideas, the next day morning is when I sit and chew her brain and trying to get. So she number 1 for sure. My producer, his father has been with me for now. She was my boss, then she was my colleague, and now she's my producing partner for the longest time. And I think all the agency collaborators who I've had, like I have a really good friends, and that's why whenever I did a film, I wanted to come back to advertising because some of the creatives have become really good friends, and of course who I really enjoyed.
अभी ये backfire होगा.
Well done. You have just stolen the show. Rahul, go.
It's the same. My wife, you know, she's my bouncing board.
Is she also a producer? Or?
No, she was in advertising, but she couldn't handle it, so she quit. She's an artist right now. But yeah, I mean, you know, all my ideas, initial ideas, they're often like she's my bouncing board. It's the writers. You know, I feel like the creative partners are like really, really important. And yeah, my producer, of course, you know, she whatever that I think of, I love to sort of talk about my film with everyone. And then after that, I think it's my DAs. I really like to sort of jam a lot with my DAs. And then, of course, you know, DPs, PDs, the list is long.
Right.
But yeah.
Right, okay. Chalo, Amit, Oscar speech.
Oh, so my two partners, Hemant and Alia, because we were very young when we started, and all three of us wanted to become director. So Hemant took a backseat and he became producer. Alia said, okay, fine. Initially, we were directing together. Then she said, okay, fine, now you take over. So both of them, my mom, who pushed me to get into this, my father, who always thought I'll not do anything in my life, but then I see his happy face, so I feel really good. You know, my son, because when you're out on long shoots and all those things, he is a support where he says, okay, fine, no problem, you work. He's like that. You work, don't worry about it. And of course, all my agency, creative, servicing friends who let me be, as in, you know, what I want to shoot, they let me shoot.
Servicing.
Servicing also. Because creative sambhal lete hain servicing ko na. So yeah, I have a long list of DPs and PDs and all of them. So yeah, these are the people I really, Pradeep Sarkar, my boss, my god. So who I learned everything from. So yeah, that's my Oscar list.
Okay. Yeah, Afshan?
I mean, I'll start with Kunal Kapoor, who kind of like got me in the industry, and like how, you know, like he's almost like a godfather. Started from then until today also, like the relationship is still going. But also like the other thing, I feel like post-production, like just the post-producer and just the team over there. Because, you know, we do shoots with like 120 people, and then eventually when you're going in post, you're just like 5 people. And it's still 50% of the job that is still need to be done.
Right.
And that part, sometimes in advertising, can go on for months and months, but they are holding the fort, you know. So yes, of course, like, you know, your producers, your cinematographers and everything, but it's great to have like a fantastic post-production team, because, you know, like that show sort of needs to be carried forward after the shoot is done, you know, and they are sometimes like really ignored. You know, I feel like just like generally the kind of recognition that they sort of need is not there.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, so it's, I feel like, yeah, they should also be
Posting.
like, yeah, like give big shout out to them as well, you know?
True.
Yeah.
Vijay, go first. Go first. Go first.
So I never thought in life somebody asked me this question. Okay. Next time we'll meet at Oscar Dice maybe. But I think more than a direction, I think people who made me, helped me to reach here, I think major time goes in advertising career actually. People who taught, and very important, like, and to start with my wife, she is a great friend, and we watched millions of movies together on a festival, and we didn't left any movie actually. So that's a good beginning. Then in advertising, people like Piyush Pandey and Abhijit Avasti taught me without telling how not to get insecure. Because इन लोग का घड़ा इतना भरा हुआ है ना कि while looking at them you don't feel like it's such a learning that they made you confident. And in great partners, Shetty and Dharam. So Dharam Wale, he's my producer now, and Manoj Shetty. So I think those who trusted me, I just count on them. They literally blindfoldedly trusted me. And now in a directional phase, that lot of time, like Amit said, वो स्टोरी बोर्ड नहीं रहता है, मेरा पूरा स्टोरी बोर्ड रहता है, बट स्टिल पीपल थिंक अरे इसका क्या बनने वाला है, लेकिन ये हर फ्रेम शूट करेगा तू. सो आई थिंक देयर द टेक्नीशियंस आर लाइक अमेजिंग, Shubhajit Mukherjee never got a final film to do the music. He still does his best, no, in fact, great. Okay, I have few DOPs also. Actually, I can name it because I don't work with a lot of people, but I work with like Jinesh Zaveri, who's like a, he can give me 7 days before the shoot, 8 days before the shoot to sit and technically do stuff. So these things are very important, and my PDs also, because actually I do very less films, so I have very small crew, and I think it's a cut pest every time almost when I can afford them. Not that I can afford them every time. So I think those who can bear me, I think they're the one. Thank you. I must have left a lot of names who must have bared me. So that's it really.
Yeah, go Akanksha.
Everybody's thanked their partners. Now, if I don't, I'm going to be crucified. Thank you, baby. Thank you for everything you do. No, yeah. Actually, it starts a big thank you to this one boss I had who looked at one title montage of a show I made and said, "Why are you showing me a PowerPoint presentation?" That ego bruise led me to keep doing it over and over and over again until I was happy with something and I wasn't just showing something for approval. Post that, there were a lot of people who took a punt on me when they needn't have. This is when I was just stepping into a direction, and even, you know, there's Sumitra Sengupta, who I want to remember right now. Sumitra's not with us anymore. But Sumitra was the very first person who, without any body of work, just said, "I like you, I like your style, let's do something." And that punt really lasted for a very, very long time. I love her. May she rest in peace. And I owe a lot of who I am today to her. Then there's like a lot of people who carried you along the way. Rahul Sengupta, my producer now, Alok Potnis, my editor, Shaikh, who I cannot live without, Nitin, my post-producer, and my army of DAs and ADs who, I think they make the film. I'm just sitting in front of a monitor saying yes, no, maybe, but they really make the film because they protect my space and my brain and come and, you know, give all their valuable feedback and input. And a film is really made when we are jamming together before, during prep, etc. I owe that to him. And I'd like to thank my mother and my father and my sister. Yes, everybody.
Yeah, so if you hear what you're saying you're thanking people who believed in you, who gave you a chance. How much of it are you doing for people who collaborate with you, or how are you paying it forward? I mean, is that something that you are conscious about? Because there's a whole bunch of people who are really struggling to break in, to get work, to be trusted, you know, who want people who will believe in them. But to build a team or to build an organization that will carry forward beyond you, I think somewhere you need to be able to build this army around you, and hope that they will grow. It's very important that if we believe that you're building an organization as opposed to just you as an individual running the show. Am I right?
Yeah,
Amit,
absolutely.
yeah.
So all my DAs, ADs, this is what we did as an organization, that we told them your time as an AD is over.
Right.
How much more you can do? How many more years you want to spend being an AD or a DA? It's time to become director. I'm really happy that, you know, so many directors have come out of Chrome.
Right.
So many production houses have come out of Chrome. And we have never stopped anybody. If somebody wanted to go, we have never stopped anybody. And by doing that also, it's like you're not giving them guilt that,
Yeah.
oh, so many years, why are you going? No, this
Yeah.
is, because ultimately when one shoot happens, there are 500 people who are getting, you know, money out of it. Their houses are running on that. So you create more employment. And that's the attitude. So when we started Chrome, we were shooting with Joelda. One product shot we were shooting, and he had seen me, Dada's, you know, chief AD, and he said, "Arey sir, बहुत अच्छा किया, शुरू किया." Because क्या है ना, एक प्रोडक्शन हाउस खुलता है तो 500 लोगों को खाना मिलता है. So I think that is what stayed with all three of us, me, him and then Alia, and we said, okay, fine, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Create more people. So this is what we've been doing. So
I actually like to throw them in the deep end and ask for an opinion at a very hot moment. Ask to make a decision in a very hot moment and go with it. Because that was me once. That was me who was, I mean, it's not just a decision on an edit, or it's not just a decision of what a character should wear. Sometimes the decisions are as important as, does that take work for you? Is this angle correct? What do you think? I think I don't know if that's enough paying forward. There's a long way to go. But I know that feeling of being asked for an opinion in a very high stake moment by somebody that you look up to.
Yeah.
That feels very empowering. And then to follow through with somebody's opinion and follow through with decision. If it's wrong,
True.
to be explained why it is wrong. I like calling those who want to learn more to come into edit, to come into a PPM and be a fly on the wall, or to come, etc. and so on. But after that, even ask them, do you think these 2 shots are necessary? It's not a test. It's a genuine investing in what they feel and what their opinion is.
building their confidence. Basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that nothing is more empowering than saying what you feel and what your opinion on this subject, on this matter is important.
It counts and I back you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've had DAs that I've had rules that you can only do so many projects with me, because how long are you just going to DA? So after that, I will give you, like, say there's a shorty that I'm supposed to do, but you know, and I discussed that with agencies also, that a shorty I will not do, and even the PPM shorty will be done by my DA. And most of the time they've been okay with it, because you know it's a set and I'm anyway going to be there as a like, you know, supervisor. So that's something. I've had so many DAs who made their reel because you know a set like that, maybe it was not possible for them and that budget, etc. Also the other thing is that I'm extremely involved if they are getting a project that somehow I am collaborating in some way or the other, even their PPM decks or whatever that is. Not that I want to be there and give them a direction of how you should be doing it, but just somehow finding your own voice, and not because you've been working with me or a certain director, you carry that voice forward. So that's something I feel like I've been very conscious of.
Yeah. So there's a whole school of thought that's emerging which says, you know, now especially, that this work-life balance is a very important thing, and young people are choosing balance more than burnout, right? They have multiple identities. So it's not just about being a filmmaker. They're also musicians, they're whatever, right? So, I mean, how do you view this? Because there is some truth to it. We can afford to choose it now at our point, at this stage of your life, but they're choosing it earlier. And possibly that could be one of the reasons why you find that they're not able to give you that 200% that we were willing to put in to grow. You think that's a reality?
That is a reality actually, where people are opting for holidays, going to Goa, going wherever they want to. 2 projects, and abhi mere ko ek hafte ki chutti chahiye, I'm going. And I think there's nothing
fine.
wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in that.
Of course.
I feel there's too much pressure also on them, no?
Yeah, because the kind of pressure we have taken at that time when we were learning, I don't remember when I went home, I don't remember when I ate. There was this time my mother used to tell me, I love the way you eat. There was this time when my mother said that I hate the way you eat so fast. Because we would not get time to eat. So, jo samne aaya, tuck karke, gulp it. So, I think that is something which this generation is not ready to take, and there's nothing wrong in that.
Yeah, I think they'll create a new language. It's also like.
But I think on this only, there are 2 sides to it. One is that you're doing 2 jobs and then saying I want a break. Yeah, the break is important. It's maybe today's need. But what about those 2 jobs? Are you enjoying it?
That has become transactional. This is what Vinil said.
That transactional is the issue, because if you're not enjoying those 2 weeks and you're earning money to get an enjoyment somewhere, you can well enjoy on the job also.
But how is it internationally? Like, I mean, I don't know, how is it? Like, are people, because my experience of shooting abroad was everyone was transactional. You know, they would come on set. It wasn't like I'm here to, I've been hired for work.
But we are Indians. We are
No, I'm
emotional
just
people.
saying,
You know
like-
what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
just generally saying we're emotional about everything.
Yeah.
You know, so like even our work, relationship, everything.
Yeah.
You know, we'll start crying in front of a creative also. I'm just
I'm
generally
thinking,
saying.
I was so upset when I was
Yeah.
shooting, like, oh my God, like, you know, why is no one like excited or emotionally attached to this project? But they were like, hey, dude, we get paid for so many hours and that's it, and
But
I'm out.
transactional equal to efficiency.
Yes,
problem
absolutely
is-
what I
Correct.
want to add.
Yeah. I know
Actually,
what
that's
you're
the
saying.
hot
Yeah.
take that I want to add to this, to what Vinil you were saying. Camaraderie and an emotional relationship with your crew and your HODs need not be, you know, at the cost of efficiency or exactly to her point that when shooting abroad, you have to have 1 hour of a break in the middle. It cannot go beyond 8 hours. You know how we can say, chal 9 घंटे, 12 का 14 घंटे मना लेंगे, बात कर लेंगे. They're very, 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 very clear. It is this to the minute and nothing beyond. Does that mean I have not walked away with a lifetime of relationships with that DOP or conversations with that actor or with that? No, absolutely not. It is a question of, yes, very efficiently finishing your shoot in a certain
bang for your
number of
buck.
hours, planning it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the T so that it finishes in a certain time.
There's no guessing game there.
There's no
Yes.
guessing game,
Yeah.
and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I am all for it. Today, if a DOP is charging you for a recce, charging you for tech, charging you for pre-light, so be it.
They
That's
come-
my time.
That's if they've come prepped
Yes, that's
and they invested.
That's a, yeah.
that's his or her time. Value it. And it's nothing comes for free. Same with DAs and ADs. I agree that they are underpaid. It's not about suddenly the work getting better because the money, I think the money is so lagging behind that it's going to come and meet them where it needs to meet them right now.
Yeah, but then the thing is, that's what I'm saying. You don't mind paying someone who's really good, but how do you assess whether this person is really good? Because they have to put in the work to get to really good. But after that, what happens when I put you in a challenging situation? Are you able to step up? But you charge me like a whole lot of money. So it's very difficult. I guess those experiences also you have to learn, you have to burn your fingers and see how it goes.
Also,
I think there's
also
a
the
catch and-
primary collaborators like DP and PD, I really wish we had a little bit more. Those are the people that I also wish that we had more time with sometimes. I think because it's like a, you know,
married to
you
them.
are making it together.
Yeah, you
But
are.
then
Yeah.
a lot of times, or not a lot of times, but
No, but so that's again, I mean, extension of what you're saying. Like I shot once in Cape Town, and it was very efficient and to the timetable and schedule and everything. But what happened is that there was a meeting where all the HODs came together once, and they spoke amongst each other. Here, I feel that half the time I am the go-between.
Yeah.
Between,
Yeah.
so I'm sitting with the DOP and we discuss something. Then I am running to the costume designer and saying, okay, this is the palette and giving this. And the whole stress of matching everything comes on to me because they have not met each other except where they meet on the set. And then there's one guy is going, oh, okay, you have this color of wall. Oh, this is the makeup. If they talk amongst themselves and sort it out, where I am doing only my... So on that South African Cape Town shoot, Vicky Turpin was shooting it, and then there was a lot of other crew, which is really good. First AD was a 50-year-old guy. And they gave me like half an hour a day, and then they said, now you go away. Now we are doing our job. And they were so good that I couldn't even ask them or point any fault with what they're doing because they were talking amongst themselves. They were working on the color palette. They were working on the lighting design, their makeup, hair, everything was, even the actors were on board. So when I came, we knocked the shoot off in 4 hours, and I was actually feeling jobless because I wasn't doing 80% of what I usually end up doing here. It's just that I'm looking at the actors and telling them, thoda uppa, thoda kam. But that was what was happening.
I think the HOD is more than DAs, you know.
That's why the HOD
You're
is
so right. It's
And
the
also with the younger lot, it's still easier because if somebody is hungry and coming up, they will give you that time because they want to prove. But if you go slightly up the ladder, then it becomes impossible to get everybody on board.
Yeah.
On feature film, it happens. Because then it becomes a family. Because you're you've got a 2-month window where you're sitting and you're flashing out scene by scene, script by script, dialogue by dialogue. Everybody's chipping in, ideas are coming in. Advertising, which is what I really miss when I said the first time, is that become transactional. That nobody's speaking to each other, nobody's discussing it, and on the set we're coming and figuring out stuff. But then by that time, again, the clock is ticking and you have to move fast. So you're just like, okay, now let's move on. You know. So that I feel.
firefighting half the time.
Then it feels a little.
Sometimes I really don't understand. For a director, the most important thing after shoot would be offline, right? For a DOP, it has to be the DI, right? A lot of DOPs, oh, we are shooting. Next, I'm going out of town for the shoot. But what about you just shot? This film will look bad if you won't do DI. But oh, I'm not available. How does that work? You know, so those are the things which are actually, it's not just one department. It's I think a lot of departments and
Being more invested.
yeah.
No, I don't think it's people problem. I think it's a system problem
System
because
problem.
the economics of it. I mean, you can't fault anybody. It's not like DAs need to get paid or more or less. It's because budgets are allowing you this much, and you're going to spread yourself. You have to figure out who needs to pay. I mean, nobody wants to mistreat or underpay anybody. But at the end of the day, the system's forcing a certain economics on everybody that it's just become like a Uber
and
right
pull,
now.
yeah.
You know, you're basically an Uber thing booked
So it
for
boils down to
hours.
budget. Now that's my next question. So how many of you really get
Oh, hot
involved in that? Are you aware of what you spend on a film? Do you have a say on it? Do you really know what to cut back on? As directors, a lot of the times people don't want to get involved, but do you? Rahul, go.
I was hoping it's not
I
going
know,
to be
that's
me.
why I asked you.
I don't get involved. That's something I've never, like, I used to freelance before, and then, now we have our own production house, but I've never really gotten involved in terms of
Something you
what-
don't enjoy?
Yeah, I don't enjoy it at all. Like, I don't want to, but of course, I have a great producer, Zulekha. She only will, if she's calling me and saying that we have a problem, that it must be a really serious problem. So I get in only on those times. Otherwise, I'm pretty much unaware of it.
Yes, you get
I
involved?
do know to a mid level, like not the exact nitty gritties of it. If I look at it, sometimes I've asked for it. It's a terrible thing to look at. Hard disk and all money has gone off on. I'm like, bro, what the hell? So, but I do know to a degree. I know, okay, I have to shoot really fast, or it influences some of my decisions. Therefore, and I go into nitty gritty sometimes when I want something and I can't get it. Then I go in to cut something else. So that's about it.
Yeah.
Now by
Like-
default, because you are.
Now I have to kind
Yeah.
of, because I feel like just as a director or somebody, I think I'm quite demanding also, like, and just like the kind of crew and everyone that you're kind of working with. So, and then when you kind of go on floor, you're just shooting, you're not thinking about the shifts and all of that. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the producers that eventually kind of happen. So they want to like kind of bring you in and like just like
Keep
just
you
talk
aware.
about like, the ballparks that this is crazy. What you're spending, this unnecessary, like all those kind of things. So yeah, I think like you have to kind of be involved.
You, Amit?
I'm spoiled by my partners, so they call me Raja Babu. So from day one, I don't understand, and I don't even ask my producers. I have brilliant producers. Earlier, Abhishek was there, now Daniel, and Hemant. He understands money really well. So I don't, because I feel if I'm thinking of money, I'm not thinking of the film. So I don't want to get into that thing. Yeah. So
Yeah, I know. I work with a director like that, so yeah. Yeah, you, Akanksha?
I dislike it. Two reasons. I just don't have a thing for numbers. I'll use a calculator to do 8 plus 4. But secondly, also the exact same reason, the moment I know numbers, they'll start influencing my decisions. I don't want that. However, having said that, I have 3 touch points with my producer. Obviously, at the start of a project, you know what the exact number is, then you forget about it. Somewhere in the middle of prep, you just check in. Are we okay? We're okay-ish. Okay, let's carry on. The last touch point is actually on the day of the shoot when we have wrapped up. Because that day, a lot of decisions are taken that maybe the producer has not taken into account. It's the end of the shoot when we're sitting with our wrapped beers is when I ask, how are we doing? That's my 3rd touch point. After that, I forget about it. But that's...
Okay. Interesting. Vinil?
I'm totally involved.
Yeah.
I get into the budget because I don't like wastage on set. And I'm an extremely, like, I do a lot of homework, I prep hard, and also because I've done production and I've been an AD for ages, and my schooling has been that
Right, so you know
get
what
to the
goes into
nitty-gritties,
it.
and so I know how to effectively spend money where it actually will show on the film. So if
That's
this
right.
requires, I want to go all out and spend on that. But I don't need 4 options of a costume for a shirt. you know. So I want to minimize the wastage as much as I can, and then I'm aware. I'm not in la-di-da land where I come and say I
Yeah.
don't know, but I am completely on it.
That's a very good thing for a director to have.
No, because my brief then becomes very specific, and we make mistakes, but at least, and we will go sometimes over shift and all those things.
Yeah.
But it's a film school training as well, because when you're doing student films and short films, you don't have the luxury, so you're just managing with that.
Yeah. So either you have it or your producer has it, and is, you know, there's someone who's sort of keeping
But
the
I
check.
would be able to give a better creative solution to a budget problem than my producer can. Like I can tell my producer, look, I don't need a Steadicam on this, but please get me this actor because I know he's charging, but we need him for the film. He's going to push. So that decisions I can take.
Okay. Vijay, you?
Yeah, absolutely get involved. I love it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love it. So I can spend well.
Yeah.
The difference, the kind of project and the complexity where you literally don't know like where you are ending. Like we just saw MP Tourism. Usme the maximum budget gone on the traveling and shooting abroad because that time the arm wasn't there in India. And if you hear the budget of crafting it, which is so minor, and where we are doing physically day and night, it is just that the type of projects actually demand something else.
Yeah.
So आधा पैसा traveling पे गया है. It's such a small tiny project. So when I'm aware of it, it gets easier because otherwise I get very feeling like if a message come from Dharam, अभी तक इतना हुआ है. For example, on some things like, so I ask him like, what do you mean by that? Should I stop or should I go ahead? Because I'm not going to listen either ways because that product required that kind of thing. So understanding of it is important.
Yeah.
It's not about how much we saved. It's how we're using the money.
Absolutely, I agree
लास्ट
with
मिनट
you.
में ऐसा होगा, अरे था क्या पैसा, वो फालतू में मैं इतना सोच रहा था, डाल देता था उस पे. Because ultimately we are at our best when we are on the set or we are taking those decisions. So, and I think I can do it. I enjoy it. Like so, back of mind, अरे हाँ है ना. तो like in one of the shoot, कैमरा गिर गया. तो I got nervous. I just sat in the tent and I asked him, धर्म कितने का आता है रे? तो वो बोला है वो सब सोच मत तू शूट कर. तो I just said like नहीं बता ना कितने का आता है. तो he said like अरे वो 1 CR के ऊपर रहेगा. बोला ठीक है गोरे को घर भेज देगा. So it cleaned my head. कि चल ठीक है मैं किसी का देना नहीं लगता हूँ because कुछ ना कुछ कर लूँगा. It is just to convince me कि हाँ things can be taken care. I think that's me.
How
I think
sweet.
but it's not that I'm feeling lost कि मेरा घर जा रहा है. But I think मैं किसी का नुकसान नहीं कर रहा हूँ अभी.
Correct.
Next day morning I got up and started shooting. But of course Dharam solved it in his own way. But that's the thing. I think it's a different side of the same thing.
It's
maybe.
true. And there's a solution to any problem.
Yeah.
You know, you can find a way to, You don't have to be heartbroken and sulking.
Love how घर बेच देगा, give him
नहीं,
peace.
No, but see, it's simple that it's a you at that point I was feeling pressed not about the money. I just felt like can I repay this guy? And वो गलती मेरा था absolutely. Ms. Dharam is very I've asked him to mount on something which we shouldn't have mounted, and of course there's some other party also who made a bigger stunt, and so I think it's for a piece on the set. So I can take a decision. So I think this is exactly, see I think both way we are right, but it's completely polar opposite point of view and type of filmmaking maybe also.
Do you have a sense of how people perceive you? The managers are the ones who decide whether you're an easy person to work with or not. Based on so many variables, I'm saying, do you have a sense of how people perceive you? Afshan, go.
Of course.
What do they think?
I mean, I feel it's not just the agency and client or something like that. Agencies are eventually like people who feel that whether you're good for the script or the bad for the script, So they are eventually taking the good shit or the bad shit from you. I feel like the collaboration comes from like the 120 people also who you're working over there.
True,
on
but I'm
set
saying, is she
also.
flexible or is she like a, hard ass, she will not agree to this?
Yeah, fully. Of course. Yeah. It is like that. It's always like that, Yeah, like वो रात में पहले सोचना पड़ता है कि don't be bad, but you just can't help it. You know what I mean?
But
like
you're
just
not
like,
bad films.
what to do?
Yeah. Amit?
Charmer.
Arre.
Sharma, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure I can believe that.
Yeah.
Akanksha, you?
I was told she's difficult to work with before they told me her name.
Correct.
I don't even know her name.
What is it?
No, but I feel like, don't you think that is a perception that was built earlier. I feel like, see, like, you know what, like, don't get me wrong in that way. I'm not doing the women and men sort of a thing, but just the sort of equality in terms of directing is a very recent phenomena. You know, for like के not being categorized के तुम bike film नहीं बना सकती हो, तुम ये नहीं कर सकते, तो like it's a lot of hard work and everything to reach a place where it's not like your film can be viewed without any sort of gender. You know what I mean? So naturally only we're very hard on set. You know, that is what it kind of comes out like that. And that is when you can be perceived good, bad and ugly, you know, because you are working 500 times more. Right now, it's a great time. That's what I'm saying. Right now, it's a great time in an industry, you know, where like it's all equal, you know, when a script
People
is
are open
coming,
to-
yeah. It doesn't matter whether you're a girl or a guy, nothing like that, whether you're a woman director, nothing matters. But had to, you know, you had to kind of really sort of push it in a manner as opposed to like, you know, for like, it can be like a lot more easier sometimes, you know, for like a lot of male directors to just be charming and it's like done.
Or even if they're difficult, it's okay.
It's okay, you know, even if you're like kind of like,
The more painful you are, the better.
you're like, yeah, but like you can come back and like, you know, just charm and be like fine, you know what I mean? So it was considered like okay, you know, so battles alag the.
हाँ, but वही है, मतलब you know, main thing is that what you are asking for, you're getting it.
Right.
In terms of, you don't want to, you want to change the script. They are allowing you to change the script.
Yeah.
Because you have a point of view. You are telling them that, you know, okay, fine, this is the reason I want to change the script. This is the reason I want to change the...
There's logic.
Logic has to be right, you know.
Right.
So, and the way you put yourself in front of them, how you conduct yourself, that's the main thing that, you know, how... There are certain people who say, I want to change this. Arrogance. No.
Yeah.
Jisne likha, he's also a creative person. You show arrogance to him, he'll say, sorry for my language, yeah. But then, yeah, this is what it is. So, it's the way we conduct ourselves.
True,
So,
true.
I think we are all difficult, which is why we are good. I think
for
those.
Which, the difficult part or the good part?
Akanksha is like, I'm not difficult, we are all difficult.
We are all
She's making a V language.
No, short answer, what I've heard of myself is, in fact, very recently, somebody told me that, and I loved it, said that with her, she takes a piece and just makes it her own. I like that because
Nice.
it's exactly what I do. Maybe I do it to a fault, but yeah, over the years, as we spend longer in the industry, loving detachment will come into play, but maybe not as yet. But that's what I've heard.
Sukriti, how do you feel about all this?
I think now, if I speak about, you know, what's happening now, I think, I don't know how I'm perceived. I think producers may think that I'm a little difficult. I think agencies, I mean, I can only gauge by what I'm reading in the calls, right? So if they start something, they will often say that it's, you know, a little open, we can work on it. I think they expect me to work on it with them, and I love that. That kind of drives me further. About being a woman, I think, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of things that Afshan spoke about, I think when I've had an evolution there, where I have also figured out my way of navigating the world, and also how I am behaving in, you know, some things that have, like in the beginning, I used to be, I started directing really early, and I felt like if I'm not really hard on set, people won't listen to me. And also my process of creating things was very isolating. It was me in a room. So I didn't know how to collaborate. I was really, really hard on everyone, and most of all on myself. And I may have made some stuff that came closer to what I wanted to, but it was not like, you know, I couldn't have let that go. When I went to Soda, I saw like the lightness with which Rajesh and Amya and these guys kind of direct. And I learned a lot about working with people. More than comedy and, you know, the given, I just understood that there is a way to kind of bring people in. Sorry, I've been only looking at
absolutely.
Sneha throughout, but there's a way to like sort of bringing people into the process. Then there was, you know, the middle where you feel like, oh, I'm going to be this democratic director. Everyone jump in. Great idea, great idea. Let's do it. And then that was a mess. And I think I have, over the last couple of years, arrived at a good balance where I found collaborators who I can say no to. I am very comfortable in my own skin. I'm okay with being, you know, perceived as a hard ass or whatever you want to call it. I'll have a conversation. And also because I work with different people. I work with different sets of producers. So I have to be very, very, I have to talk about my process from the get-go.
But you are cognizant of the fact that people perceive you a certain way.
Yeah, I think I've stopped thinking about that.
Right. But you've also evolved in the process.
Yes.
Yeah, as a person. I
Yeah.
think that's the take out
Yeah,
there.
I think that burden I mean, I'm aware of it, but I've kind of taken that burden away from me sometimes.
Yeah.
If they feel it, they feel it.
It's necessary, I think. It's necessary to do that.
Yeah. Rahul, what do you think people think of you?
I think because I do a lot of humor work, when they meet me, they're like, you're so boring and you're so not funny. And that is something that I've felt, and they've suddenly felt like, will this guy like do it? I think it's that, and also I'm not very loud on set, and like I would speak to my team, and so they also feel, is he sure of what he's doing? I think those things I've often noticed.
I have the same problem as you.
Yeah.
We need to discuss it.
Still, even now.
I will finish yours and then.
Yeah, I think it's mostly that. And also, I think, when you do the creative call, there is an expectation of that you will add a lot more than that. And I tend to sort of take out a lot. And that also is somehow I feel like is not perceived really.
Rattles them.
Yeah. So maybe that's
That's
broadly.
tough. That is
Yeah,
tough.
you know, भाई कुछ और अरे और क्या डाल सकते हैं इसमें हमें कुछ नहीं डालना है काफी कुछ है let's remove. So I think people usually don't like that. Yeah.
I think I have the same problem because I have a lot of self-doubt constantly, and I'm always thinking that I missed out on something which could have been done better or can. So I'm always, and there's also that middle-class tendency where you don't talk too much or you kind of, underplay your. When the agency comes with, what a fucking amazing script, right? And if I can't respond with the same energy, they feel like he's being distant. But
He's not excited.
So I'm feeling it, but I can't express it. It's not coming in. So I'm trying to be, upping my energy, but it's not. It's falling short very badly. And then they start calling you after the film is shot. The edit starts and say, "How's it looking? How's it looking?" So the first day of edit looks like shit only. You're like, what have I done? How are you going to even tell him that, boss? It's So I think it's only once the film is out and people say it's a good film, you're convinced. Because by the time you're done with it, I start hating what I've done. There's no perspective. You lose all perspective.
But that's also nice because then in the end you surprise them and they'd be like...
Not always. Surprise doesn't happen, then I just confirm the bias.
Yeah. Vijay?
Amazing.
Sorry, we haven't heard
So
you
they
in a
must be
while.
having some perception. I don't think too much about it because I know a particular way of working only. And yes, some people think, अरे तू ज़्यादा घुसता है, ज़्यादा detail करता है. So those people will not come to us. But people who like to work in that detail, या तू ज़्यादा time मांगता है. So I think the result, what we get to see is the result. They don't come to you or they come to you with beautiful thought and collaboration कि इसको कुछ करते हैं करके. And when you see them like, so it's nice. Whatever it's like, you might get less scripts, but you'll get the script you really want to execute.
Because they believe in you.
They believe in you.
Yeah,
Indrasish, you've been bubbling for some time.
yeah, please tell us.
No, now no more.
No.
No, but I have no idea how people perceive me. But I do have a thing like what he was talking about, where the excitement that you need to show for a certain script or what he's talking about. I have many a time said, "Wow, lovely," so I can sit and do my work after that. It's kind of done, and then you don't need to sit and explain anymore. Ki अरे ऐसा होगा वैसा
And you're
होगा."
performing.
And the performative male is dead, and now I can sit and just write stuff. So that,
Even with actors also you need that, no? Because they feed off your energy and confirmation. They're looking for you. And if you're not giving that, you're like looking doubtful. Then it's a downward spiral from there.
Actors, I have begun mollycoddling almost. And there was this incident that happened where I was sitting with my editor. So I've gone through all the takes and I don't like anything. So I'm telling him, "Arey yaar, can we just go through it again?" And while I don't like anything, behind at the end of each take is me saying, "Lovely! No, amazing!" But there it is. I'm sitting at the edit table with something I'm not too.
You are that AD my producer was looking for. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I'm really terrible at validating actors. I think that's something I constantly have to remind
You know
myself.
what I
of.
do? Reverse psychology. So when they look at you, know, like at the end of a take and you don't like it and it's take number 7, right? I try this thing where I said, you want to see? So then they come, okay, and then you're looking at your face, thik to tha, because now they want to be done with it, right? First of all, take number 7 with a celebrity does not exist. I don't know what I'm talking about. 2 takes, max 3 if you're lucky. But if you've still not gotten what you've gotten, I do this and try it next time. Do you like it? And then if they say, yeah, it's amazing, but you want one more, you don't like it? I don't know, do you like it? Then they just go into this, okay, we'll do one more. I like it, but I can give you one more.
Yeah.
Because I let them decide whether I move on from this take or not.
You pass the
So
buck.
suddenly, their guards are down.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she likes it, but she's waiting for me to say it's okay. Okay, we'll give one more. Try it next time.
It's not the way you do your hair, right?
No.
That rules us out.
Try it next time.
But you know, the beauty is that the world accepts 2 different kinds of directing styles. And
That's
you know,
true.
you look at Amit and you feel confident. You feel like this is going to be a great film.
Yeah.
And you look, and we both have survived so long. So I think it's
Yeah,
the
and you know,
beauty.
this is the point of this, right? That you have multiple kinds of people
Yes.
who are still producing great pieces of work, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to all fit into one mold. You can be who you are and still do some amazing stuff.
Just actually, I want to
peeing in the pool.
I really don't know how to make storyboards. I don't make storyboards. There will be a PPM, PPT ready, but I don't go through that. As in, in PPM's agency and creatives and clients, they know that he's not going to present everything because I just tell them one thing, which is, okay, listen to my story. I'm narrating the whole story to you. If you want to see the boxes, I don't know how to make it. If you want to see it, somebody else, my AD will be making it, but that will not be the film. Don't go by boxes and say, okay, fine, ye to wahan tha, wo nahi. So perception is that he's not going to show you any storyboard. He's going to tell you the whole story. And I tell them, okay, fine, listen to the story. If you have not gotten the film, I'll tell you the story again. And I'll try to make a good film.
Right.
So that's what the perception is, and there is no arrogance in that. It's just I can't imagine film in boxes, you know, because it's all about when you reach on set, the spontaneity comes.
Yeah.
Actor is going to get something, the DOP is going to get something, and when my camera, my DOP, my actor is there, something just happens. You know, you just start seeing the film.
Yeah.
And usi ke andar bichare jo like my ADs, they are like running helter and skelter because a lot of times I've asked for things which I have not even told them that I want it. So, but they have to produce it that time.
Right.
That's what it is.
How many of you enjoy doing treatment notes?
Oh.
You do? Wow.
Yeah, I also do. Only because I found at some point that it really clears thing up for me only by the time I go into the pre or the shoot. So I don't mind it.
At the
actually.
pitch stage.
At the pitch stage. So thankfully, a lot of times it works out. But half my job is done by the time I go into it. So a lot of the prep days are then spent in detailing as opposed to, you know, starting from scratch. I don't mind it.
Even if you lose a job.
Yeah, I mean, I was not doing anything else at home. I was just...
He's going to ruin it for the rest of us. Please edit this out.
Please, first of all,
Actually, I
treatment
might have
notes
ruined
have
it for
to
myself
stop.
also. I might have ruined
To
it
the
for myself
treatment
also.
notes.
But I have a question over here. People who enjoy making treatment notes. But what if you have made a treatment note and after 15 days or 20 days, you're getting a confirmation. But in those 15, 20 days, you start seeing the film in a different way.
Differently, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you have given a treatment note,
Correct.
which agency, client, everybody has loved, and you go and will you be able to change that at that point of time and say, oh, no, I gave that treatment, but it's this is what I think we are giving treatment note is like,
A first
Locking
reaction.
yourself in.
No, but
like आप फंस जाओगे उसमें. Like, you know, I genuinely
I
feel very
totally agree.
comfortable.
No, I
Can I
totally agree.
try
I
to
think
answer that question? It is a danger. but I do feel the opposite danger, no, which is a bad marriage, where somebody has taken
Yeah.
you on
Yeah.
board,
Yep.
but now everything you're saying is against the grain of what they want, is a grinding process. I've been through one or two of those, and it's just exhausting for both parties. So I do feel like having that little bit of, okay, we might be on the same page. I would much rather take that gamble than this, where my mind changes.
I just think the intensity of the note can be reduced. Like
Yeah.
the reason why there are people hired for it is because there's 2 days
Yeah.
and people are delivering like such, extensive notes.
Actually, I tried to check because see, suppose I want to do a film, but I want it in a single shot only. Okay, for example. So at this situation, my creative partner should be comfortable. And treatment note for us, it doesn't mean a note. Huh? It means we don't put it on the paper and say we have a creative discussions.
Creative discussion is a
That's
different
what-
thing.
yeah,
And
That's a different
no,
thing.
then if they say
That
okay,
I agree for.
If they say I want to put this on a paper, the note is right. I want to put this on paper. I want to share it with client. We said okay, we'll talk to the client. So for sake there will be a presentation, and it won't be like a long presentation, 15 images, not always, but it just to. I'm afraid that if what the journey I am going on, because the moment the script came, you start thinking about
Yeah.
it, and you come to a junction. So, अरे इसको single shot करते हैं यार. तो अभी now if somebody says नहीं नहीं सब कुछ अच्छा है, single shot नहीं करते हैं, तो I am not interested in the film, not at all. So yeah, what you said, effort depending on the job, what you have in hand, and I am very concerned with my treatment, because the treatment which I try to do, I am trying to see something different. So there is a technologically कुछ करना है. जैसे for example that
Maza.
MP ad has a
MP.
or Maza, for that Maza,
Yeah,
just imagine how will I convey. For the fortunate part is that agency team was sitting with me for 15 days to work that out. But they were like they said that Nini, because somebody is sitting next to you
Yeah.
for all the discussions, that you mean like okay, like what is the other option, like if you have someone, because 15 days का काम चल रहा है उसमें.
Yeah.
So I think it's what her question was for me, the treatment is how I'm going to treat the film.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with the PPT or a
But
presentation.
sir,
or a
I'm
deck.
saying,
Can I add
like,
to
I'm
that?
going to say sir right now. You're at that place right now when, like, like creatives or everyone who are coming to you, they want to do it with you. Like a few days back, I met a director friend of mine. He said that I made 155 treatment last year. You understand where I'm coming from? Because he's thinking that maybe the creatives or the agencies are sort of believing in the person, the person would put the heart and soul into it. But like now the dynamics of the industry is also changed, right? Correct? Whether it's like relationships or this or that. So I feel like one is also killing the whole heart and soul of a director, because one is putting out so many treatments. You just honestly say, na, okay, you are the three people, tum banao. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, let's pivot into one more, since we have 3 women on the panel. Has the needle really shifted for women as directors? Just in terms of equality, diversity, the questions you get asked, how much you have to push back, and also we know that Kopal started the She Directs ads after her See It Be It experience. So really, what will that collective be doing? Is there anything around this that you want to weigh in on?
It has. The needle has moved.
Yeah.
We talk about it constantly. We feel it in the language. We feel it in the way we are spoken to. We feel it in the way we speak as well. But there is still a long way to go. We know that. We're aware of it. But for a pendulum to come back to the center, it needs to sort of swing all the way. I mean, the larger idea is to eventually not need collectives like She Directs ads, right? There shouldn't be a need to spotlight talent that others are not being able to see. There should come a day where we don't need to add the prefix woman director anymore and just call her a director. We don't say male director.
Yeah.
The goal is to get there. But to get there, you have to spotlight the gender bias.
Yeah.
The goal is to have ungendered filmmaking. We are storytellers at the end of the day, and we want to just be storytellers. But to answer your question in short, it's shifting in a fantastic way. Already we are the 37% of this panel is female. It was a little under this last year, so
It
that's a
was,
good
yes.
good improvement.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think what's also changing is, albeit slowly, is the kind of scripts that women directors are getting. They're not necessarily just chasing a certain
Yes.
I was
aesthetic.
so happy to see
Exactly.
her Pulsar ad.
Exactly.
I mean, I think
Exactly.
fabulous.
Exactly. But the flip side too, it's heartening to see an Indrasish make a museum of boobs as well for a
Yeah.
lingerie brand, because it needs to move both ways,
That's
right?
true.
It can't just
Very
be
true.
one way.
True.
And that, I think, that movement is happening together. So that's a
Well
good
said.
thing.
Yeah. How does it feel for you to be like? What was that moment when the first Bajaj film came to you, and how does in your own head, like how did all of that work out for you?
I feel I feel like Good Morning Films, just as a place, I feel like they are strong supporters of women. You know what I mean? And I feel like just Bob, Vikram, and these guys are also like same Godfather, Kunal Kapoor. They've also come over there. The language is same. You know, they really believe in investing in their directors and things like that. So they give it like everything. So it was never ever typecasted as such that you're a woman director and you're going to be making a bike film. It was like, there's a bike film, you have to make that. So the language was like set like that, you know. So it's only after it kind of came out and that's when I realized, oh wow, you know, like that sort of conversation is there that, oh, there's a woman who's made a bike film.
How interesting.
Otherwise, just like
But
inside.
that's the funny thing. You have
Yeah.
to celebrate this, but also to normalize it, you have to not talk about it.
Yeah.
So that balance
But I
is
feel
so
like,
weird.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And that's what, you know, like that's what I have always spoken in SDA also, that, you know, like where you're kind of starting off from, like who are your mentors and who are the people you're kind of starting off, like that is such an important place, you know, that kind of a bifurcation, oh, you're a woman or a man, it's never done, you know, so you're being taught so equally, you know, that eventually it kind of ended up in work as well, you know, like even if till today, even if like I've parted ways with maybe Good Morning, but like the kind of scripts, it's the same thing, you know, like I am getting still the action films, whether materializing, not materializing, sports film or this and that. So nobody is still typecasting me and being like, oh, just give her a jewelry film or like a woman-oriented film. You know, nobody's sort of doing that. So yeah, that's what I was saying, that I think it's a great time right now for women also in the industry. Yeah, like he can be charming because it came very like, but like we are mentally, you know, in that place is what I'm kind of like
Sorry,
saying.
I'm taking up Sukriti's space here, but I'll just add to that as well. Women and humor is also something that was gravely missing earlier. I don't know why. Do we not think women are funny? Do we not laugh at silliness? Women and silliness and humor and comic timing is something that is
She
new.
does it beautifully.
And look at,
Yeah.
I think that it's not just about masculine codes and feminine codes and products. It's also tone and genre that is, that I think with people like Sukriti and so many others, Rupali Singhal for that matter, with their humor, are proving that
Yes.
wrong.
Can I mansplain this?
Yes. Oh.
No, I don't
okay.
want to. I just wanted to say that sentence. That's it.
Let me tell you how it works.
Yeah.
But I would just want to add saying that, like she's saying that, you know, you don't want to tag saying women director or male director. The number of amazing directors who happen to be women is just too many right now. I mean, there are 3 of them here, but I can name at least 7 more. And if you had to do a tug of war between male films and female films, it would be at the
Yeah.
center.
So
It's
Good
not-
As Matters should do a roundtable with all women directors. That's one way to do
And
this.
also film देखकर पता नहीं लगता ना कि women director है कि वो
Correct है.
नहीं, but-
male director.
वो भी
The
है.
main thing is that what you are saying is, if you have seen a Pulsar film and you get to know this is a woman who has directed this, don't get, oh my god, really?
Exactly.
You know, so this is what you're saying,
Yeah.
which is true. And also पिक्चर पे तो नहीं लिखा हुआ कि वो मेल है कि फीमेल ने बनाया. Work is good. Work is coming out, really nice work which is coming out, and we are happy that, you know, the 1% what you said, yes, and at the same time quality of work is really, really good.
But it's happening only now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to
Yes.
accomplish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So these are small shifts. It will take time, but I think we're on the road to getting there, which is very encouraging. So yeah, the big question in the room, which I know everyone's been waiting for, which is AI. Okay, how has it impacted your life? Of course, it is part of our lives right now. I don't think there's any arguing on that. There are different schools of thought. There's stuff around AI. It's here to stay, but there's a belief that, it's copyright theft and exploitation of artists, and, how can you do this without consent, all of that. And at the same time, there's so many possibilities with AI, and it's a great tool. I don't think it's going away. So, how do you use it as an enabler? And that's one part of the question. Second part of the question is, do you, as production companies, would you think you will end up using AI within your own companies in-house, or will you sort of outsource it to professionals who manage that? I mean, how do you see this going forward?
I've been using AI, pretty much quite a lot also.
To reference?
No, I mean, as part of the films, I think it's something to kind of embrace. It is also a technology that is kind of evolving, but you can't let it take over. I think like that's what I was talking to Rahul as well, Rahul, that mix the two, right? Like we're talking about like you're shooting, but you are using it for the right things. You're not letting it overpower your film, even if whether it's like extension of backgrounds or like just some little things that can be, like I'll just give you an example. Like recently I did a film for Himalaya Baby Care. There was, the whole script was all about like a press conference is going on, and there are kids sitting over here in the press conference, and they're all like 10 months and 1 year old, that who had to, like, you have to like literally, and there are actors who are like, who our journalists who are asking them questions. How do I make them act?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like we shot them as much as possible, and with AI and VFX, they kind of manipulated it beautiful, and it just worked well. But it's not that that's the whole film. Yeah, you're it's an enabler over there. It's not becoming the bigger thing of letting that be the 80% of the film.
I actually enjoy these, especially the animal ones, where a gorilla has now broken through the cage and it's like, and for the first half, it was quite believable.
Yeah.
The second half, because of the absurdity of the thing that is happening, I actually find it fairly, and I am amazed by how real they made it look, especially when you have to do that phone footage vibe. They do a really good job of making it. So I'm kind of amazed by it. In the workflow, no, this might be archaic way of thinking, but I have just not allowed it to enter my workflow at all, because I do feel it's going to eat some jobs, and it's going to happen in our time. There's inevitable. I can't do anything about it. But it's just that little 1% front that I do. I know it's a losing battle.
Fighting the good
Can't
fight.
do nothing. No, because I know these guys. Like the storyboard artist has reduced 2 shots for me at some point. I have a little bit of a thing, It's like so easy to like now get the storyboard made, and but it just, I don't know.
But that you have to stick, yeah? Like you have to hold the storyboard artist. Don't let AI take over.
No, I'm not letting. That's what I'm saying. The workflow, I have not let it enter it
yeah,
as of now.
yeah.
But I'm sitting at home and I'm doing AI tracks by myself all the time. I love it.
Oh my God, my musician family will destroy me and bury me.
Yes, no, I'm worried about my music director. Next time giving him feedback, he should not look at me like, "मैं prompt मत दे मेरे को." Like he should not look at it like that. But I actually enjoy doing it. But there is huge, at least as of now, huge difference between what my music director does and what AI is putting
Well,
out.
just as a note of encouragement, right now what it feels like is relevance of storytelling will always hold.
Yep.
The creator economy will explode. Narrative strategists will use tech to tell better stories. We will spark emotion, we will find connection, we will find entertainment, we will build curiosity. There will be a huge demand for good storytelling, and that is what it feels like the future is going to be. So the talent that you guys have in this room is not going away soon. So I think the way to look at technology is to help it aid you. Don't let it frighten you at all, because what you have is very, 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 very like special, right? That said, what do you think is the forecast in advertising for 2026? Quickly round the table.
Starting from there.
Okay,
Starting from there.
and feel free to be negative. I ended on
Yeah,
a positive note.
I'll
Yes.
start with
But then
because
don't make it like this then.
we'll go like that. We'll go like that.
You turn.
Go for it.
I think like the shelf life of a good film has reduced tremendously. I think everyone is, we're putting cost effectiveness and, the faster you do it, the better over everything. So I feel like, we'll see a lot more AI films, and no matter how bad they are, people will be okay with it. And that's going to have like
Ouch. Okay.
I feel like, okay, like I feel like we need to embrace the fact that the budgets and everything, they are going to get lower, or like that particular situation is not going to change. So, like you're always struggling and you're working very hard, and it just sometimes becomes toxic and it becomes negative. I feel like the one thing, like when I started like 2026, I was like, it cannot be that I have to wake up in the morning every day and be like, I have to force myself to love what I do. It has to kind of come to a place where I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Right.
It has always been like that. It cannot come to a place that I'm forcing myself to love that. I feel like that is something that I really
You wish
feel.
stays that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that I would want to
In the
kind of.
purity of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
like because we love the art, no?
Yeah, yeah.
I think realistically, for some time, advertising and storytelling will remain functional. I think we're entering that age. It's also global economy, ups and downs, uncertainty, brands being a bit scared of spending too much, consumers being a bit scared of buying too much. There's a sentiment of fear and uncertainty. I think that
Continue in that.
it will,
Yeah.
which will inform storytelling, and our storytelling is going to be tested. I think it's going to become a little functional for a while. The hope of doing 7-minute long WhatsApp ads, I mean that once in a while that those scripts will come our way and we may be able to do some blue sky direction. But we got to hunker down. We've got to, yes, look at AI, not with a tinge of panic, but with, I mean, when Photoshop came in, we embraced it.
My God.
Google Maps came in,
Yeah.
I actually remember there was I'll tell you quickly, 8-year span when I joined, there was a man on his way out. He was a lovely art director, used to sketch. And Photoshop had just about come in a couple of years before. And he was a ghost in that office. He had no interest. I mean, he's not going to learn right now. He's already 50 something. And his junior was kind of taking over all of the stuff. After a couple of years, he left. And this is the absolute beginning of my advertising career. Towards the end, his son joined under the same guy who was his junior. And we used to take most of our work to his son because he just had better fonts, better. It was just lovely. I mean, I did happen to see the cycle before I left. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes. Go, Vinil.
No, I'm.
Your forecast for 2026.
So I'm not optimistic as a person generally. Speaking.
We know by now.
That's a default setting in me, but I agree with you. I'm actually quite excited with AI coming in, and I think I want to embrace it more. I wish it came up to my expectations. It's not. It's still slow for me because I feel that like there's a thought in my head when I make a film or whatever. I picture something in my head, and I'm very excited about it. And by the time the film is made, it's also, of course, it's fun, it's collaborative, it deviates here and there, but it's also an obstacle race where I don't know at what percentage I'll land up. Sometimes it's 150%, sometimes 60%.
Correct.
And I feel AI will just clean that path for me. So I think it will enable a lot of storytellers, creative people who are not the confident type, who are not the people managers. So because there is a lot of gatekeeping happening because of you need resources, you need people, you need to have contacts, you need to have this, that to make films. So like when you say so many directors, so many directors are struggling to put a film out there. It's not because they're not good. It's just that it needs so much of skill set and good luck to be there. And I think AI might just open up the paths for the truly creative people.
True.
So you might have a great filmmaker sitting somewhere in Jharkhand who's going to come out and he's going to do exceptionally good stuff. And he might be an 8-year-old boy for all you know.
Yeah.
So I think that
We're already seeing that with content creation.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
done. So so I think that's I mean that's exciting. I mean I feel like I'm looking forward to it and seeing like, and I think it might just take out the mediocrity out of the whole thing. So
Yeah.
like
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now have you mulled over it, Rahul?
No, I think I agree with Vinil. It's the same thought. So AI, of course, coming in, and I feel like in this process, a lot of mediocre work that he talked about will definitely get like filtered out. Because I mean, there is anyway. I feel there's a certain level of exhaustion that's happened this year or
Already.
before. So I feel people are going to experiment a lot more. This is going to be the year of doing experimental work, experimental way of telling stories, because I think there's so much content we've consumed. People are just bored of watching even functional ads. I
Yeah.
think there will be a better way of doing the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Vijay?
Yeah, I think it is like a cinematic pause, which is completely positive. It looks like it stopped, but it's very important. With shrinking budget, AI, and I've heard these stories that all these great music videos are made with like a really less money. So it's a time for us to think, embrace the new technology, and use it in its best possible way. But I think it's important even for the storytelling point of view, the way the scripts are coming, the quantity of the scripts, the quality of the script. I think it's a very nice year to just take relax, understand as much as we can,
Yeah.
and assess it as best we can.
Yeah.
sorry, I think one thing important point I wanted to add I forgot is that one tangible benefit of AI and ChatGPT is going to be that all the treatment note companies might wind down because it might be easy to put a prompt and you get a 5-page with pictures.
Yeah, it's damn intelligent. Yes.
We'll all have the same treatment notes.
Yeah.
Imagine.
It depends on your prompt.
AI, we can't run away from AI. It's at the doorstep. But I feel that it's
No, it's entered the room. It's sitting
no,
with
it is
us.
exactly,
It's like,
exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. But that I agree with you. Storytelling is not going anywhere because that human touch is needed. Human touch is very very important because we are living in India. ये भारत मतलब जहाँ पर लोग इमोशन से समझते हैं वो चीज़ के लिए I think still there is time even to make a AI emotional film you will need one brain
Definitely.
to be there as human who's putting the prompt and saying okay fine I need a tear at this point of time so using AI in terms of in the right way today also if you're using like I did one recently I've done a film I couldn't take that shot because that shot was not possible. So I've created it in AI. It's looking as real as possible. It's a wide shot,
Yeah.
So where it is needed, it will be used.
Yeah. Cost efficiency also.
The
Exactly.
location manager screwed to some extent.
Yeah.
All your long shots are now AI.
Yeah.
Correct.
Where we are is AI is still too perfect, and what makes imperfection
Yes.
is memorable and something beautiful. I read the other day, what AI will never get now is ordinariness, is stuff that doesn't, the everyday banality of our existence, things that are not extraordinary. Maybe someday we'll get there, but because maybe the rules will also need us to have a disclaimer that says this was not made by humans, which by the way, a show on Apple TV now does. This show was made by humans very, very proudly. If we are required to say that this was made by AI, say 5 years from now, and it's beautifully, delicately made, where I started by saying was, would you still buy it? Would you shed a tear watching something that you knew was made by bots?
Yeah.
Even though it's a prompt crafted,
Yeah, but-
beautiful moment.
The question is, does there have to be a this or that, or can they both coexist?
Actually, someone very smartly also said that, dude, does the audience want AI? Do they care about
That's a
AI? Do they
philosophical
want
question.
it? We want it because it is simplifying and automating our workflows, right? But does an audience, finally, the person who's watching your ad or your film or your show or listening to your song, do they want it? Do they want it in their art?
Yeah, I mean, there's also dangers of like, so the things that, I mean, you might not be able to decipher which one is real and which is not, and therefore
Of
believe
course.
anything.
Of
So, I mean, there are all the problems of ethics and all those things still exist.
Yeah.
But as a tool, as a filmmaker, yes and no to some extent. I think you have to know where to filter this.
Yeah.
I actually had one thing that I think will come true. I mean, I am kind of confident about it. Is just talking about advertising brains, no, we're tuned to trying to make things so that it can break clutter in a little way. If everybody is using the same tools, you'll still need that brain to tell you how to break away from it. So the advertising brain, I don't think
Of course.
disappears despite like whatever AI might do. I'm happy if AI comes in and takes over the celebrity shoots and plasters somebody's face on it, and I don't have to take care of the left profile. But yeah.
No, but I that's what I'm seeing. 2027, there's this really beautiful dystopian scenario where the marketing team will use AI to write a script and send it to us, and the AI on our side will send a treatment note. The AI on their part will add things to make the film better. We will do a better treatment note, and they'll keep doing ping pong till it finally everybody's tired, and then they'll come to us and say, just make a film for us.
Invideo will make a film.
And then 2027 Directors Roundtable will just be 8 laptops. Yeah.
Exactly. AI.
Yeah, it's artificial to start with, so you're not getting replaced anytime soon. But on that note, what an amazing discussion. Thank you, guys. So thank you to each one of you for being part of this conversation and for sharing your thoughts with such honesty. And I don't know if you feel it, but I think we've just made friends. 8 friends?
Yes.
Yeah. And please stay in touch. I think let's share as much as we can and learn from each other, because it's beautiful what we just did. So thank you. And this roundtable stands as a tribute to the impact you continue to create in your work. And you are an inspiration to a whole new generation. So that is beautiful. Thank you as well to Good Ads Matter for pulling this off and giving the ad world space actually to truly thrive and to have a meaningful and constructive conversation and several conversations in and around advertising, because it's a beautiful industry and we have so many people to thank for us getting to this stage of our lives. So it's safe to say that we can all go home tonight and rest easy knowing that good ads matter.
So good. Nailed it.
Brilliant, brilliant. You're amazing.
Yeah.
You're amazing.